A year ago this week, the American Tournament Championship game with the UConn Huskies and the Houston Cougars. UConn used some late offense against the pitching staff for Houston and came away with their first tournament championship in the American. They came away and hosted the title here in Clearwater. We've got a winner's bracket matchup this Thursday afternoon that should be a monster matchup. We welcome you into the press box here at Spectrum Field. Jeff Brightwell, Garrett Walbert. Jeff, both these teams took different paths to this winner's bracket matchup. Memphis had the lead on Houston, but the Cougars rallied late, and UConn just steamrolled Cincinnati.
Well, no one's going to forget Padgett's home run. One of the plays of the tournament so far off the foul pole in right field. Willie on that big grand slam opened the game up late for the Huskies and knocked out the Bearcats.
Jan, a junior captain and an all-conference player for the UConn Huskies. Let's learn a little more about him.
Willie on a year ago with that veteran-laden team was a young guy, a role player. This year's second team all-conference. He captains this ball club. The senior third baseman, .318 hitter this year, a pair of home runs, 25 driven in. One of its home runs right there. That's a second career grand slam.
Todd Whitting's team has a big hitter at the heart of their order in Jake Shiner.
Houston always puts out great hitters, and he's the conference co-player of the year, .337, 16 homers, including this one against the Tigers. Also, he's driven in 53 RBI.
Should be a very compelling matchup between the regular season champion Houston Cougars and last year's tournament champs, the UConn Huskies. Starting lineups and our first pitch on the other side of this break, only on the American Digital Network.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
We welcome you back into Spectrum Field, 83 degrees on the eastern seaboard here. Beautiful day in Clearwater, Florida. Garrett Walbert, Jeff Brightwell. Let's take a look at the starting lineups for the UConn Huskies. Coming up to the plate today with 5 upperclassmen in the starting lineup. Topa, Prado, and Susi will lead off. Feldstein, Willie Jan, a team captain, and Lefebvre in the middle, and Winkle, Hill, and Kruger at the bottom of the order. A pretty good offense, Jeff Brightwell. They're going to face a pitcher today in Mitch Ullum, a sophomore who's 6'2", 200 pounds.
Ullum's been really good this year in 14 starts, 6-3, a 3.60 ERA, 85 innings, 84 hits, 41 runs, 34 earned, 27 walks, 45 strikeouts. He's a guy that likes the soft contact, just a 260 average against.
John Topa will lead things off as we get underway in this winner's bracket non-elimination game between UConn and Houston. Topa looks at the first offering, and it's out of the zone. Ullum has incredible numbers in conference play, 6-3. This second offering comes in 92 miles an hour. Looks like he's a little gassed up to start the ball game.
Well, adrenaline flowing again. A day off. All 4 games were played on Tuesday. A couple of elimination games. One elimination game yesterday, one earlier today. So everyone's had a day off, and both of these teams trying to make a push towards Saturday. Houston feels pretty safe for their at-large. Talking to some of the staff for UConn, would like one more win, just not to mess around with anything.
Everybody's got their eyes on the NCAA regionals and seeding, and this game will certainly play into that. Count goes to 3-1. Here's the hitter's pitch. Offers at that one, keeps the fastball low, again 92 miles an hour. Topa with a pair of RBIs in that comeback victory against Memphis.
Comes down and in after starting outside a little bit, but fooled him on that one.
Payoff pitch, just got a piece of it. Again, peppering with fastballs early on. Topa hitting .268 on the year. He's a sophomore. Big part of the reason that UConn 32-23 on the season. Huskies finished as the 3 seed. Hits this one hard on the ground, left side of the infield. Throw over to first by Cold Iron is in time. Let's take a look at the defense for the University of Houston Cougars, 37-19 on the year. Mitch Ullum on the hill, firing into Connor Wong, an all-tournament selection a year ago. Shiner at third, Cold Iron at short. Hollis at second, and Lyle Lockhart at first. Across the outfield, Bilamovich in left, Corey Jolks, a talent in center, and Jared Triolo in right field.
Houston this year fielding 972. They have committed 62 errors on the season, so about an error a game, about average for a college baseball team.
Anthony Prado to the plate, true freshman, hitting .293 in his rookie season. Prado, 5'10", 190, out of Staten Island, New York.
Good contact hitter, 20 walks, only 30 strikeouts on the season. He has now played and started in 53 games for Jim Penders.
Jeff told you the numbers on Ullum. In 85 innings pitched, he's only struck out 45. Not necessarily his forte, but very good at keeping the runs down. And that one comes across. Back-to-back batters with a full count.
At least through the first two batters, Topa and Prado trying to work the pitch count a little bit, trying to get Ullum at the pitch count early. Again, they don't have the offense they had a year ago with that senior lane lineup. And the numbers are solid. I wouldn't say great, but they are solid for UConn this year, hitting .256 on the year. They've got 94 doubles. They've stolen 56 bases.
Payoff pitch, sent into center field, and Anthony Prado has reached base in all 7 at-bats in this tournament. How about that? A double, a single, a triple in the first game, reached on an error, and now here he is, a one-out runner on.
Still early in the tournament, just their second game at making a run already at finding a place on the all-tournament team.
Now Zach Susie, left-handed hitting catcher, comes to the plate. Susie will dig in. A 6'1", 203-pounder out of Southington, Connecticut. Lifts this one in the air, and that's played havoc through most of our tournament. But in left field, catch is made with the sun in his eyes by Bilamovic. 2 outs.
Just got up into that one and left it to the left side. Again, that wind howling out to right field. It's been going to left the first 2 days as he sends it the opposite way. So the outfielders, as you see Bilamovic come in, will have to be careful of that ball as you see it carry on him just a little bit to his left.
In the comeback win against Memphis, Isaac Feldstein, the right fielder, had a pretty good game. An RBI double into the right center field, drew a walk. He also hit into a double play. He's 1 for 3 so far in Clearwater. Throw back over to first base, and that one gets away from Lyle Lockhart, but he keeps it in front of him.
Anthony Prado, one of their big 3 on the bases. He leads the team with 14. Topa's got 10. Winkle has 9. So 33 of their 56 bags stolen, coming from 3 different players.
Feldstein in the very back of the box watches that cruise by for ball 1.
May try to take advantage of Connor Wong. He's only thrown out 13 of 63 this year. Early in the game, you never want to run into the third out, but still just the first inning. Again, they'll try to manufacture runs, get someone in scoring position even with 2 outs.
This one finishes high, and the count climbs to 2-0. In conference play, Ullum, 3 wins against 1 loss, 8 appearances. They were all starts. He has about 50 innings pitched in conference play this year. Again, still just a sophomore and very good. Feldstein offers at that one, and he's late on the 91-mile-an-hour heater.
He started off with a couple of off speeds. Comes up high with fastball that time. Got him just under the letters.
Prado standing off first after that 1-out single. Ullum will go back over.
Again, if you notice the pitch count already up to 18, they want to get these guys at a high pitch count. They've already got Ullum up over 15. Usually you'd like to be around 13 to 14 an inning. So already headed toward 20.
The 2-1 and the runner breaks. Throw down by Wong. He got him. UConn runs itself out of the inning. Connor Wong with a kill down at second base, and Ullum retires the side. We'll head to the bottom of the first, and the Cougars coming to the plate, your regular season champions, on deck here at the American Baseball Championship.
This is a classroom.
This is a lab.
This is a study break.
This is family.
This is our backyard.
This is UConn.
We welcome you back inside the beautiful ballpark here in Clearwater, Spectrum Field, for the American Baseball Championships. Starting lineups for the Houston Cougars, hitting .285 as a team, 49 home runs on the year. Wong and Hollis lead it off. The player of the year, Jake Shiner, is your 3-hole, and Corey Julks will clean it up. Joe Davis, last year's rookie of the year, in the 5 spot. Then Cold Iron, Triolo, Lyle Lockhart, the first baseman, and Bilamovich will round it all out at 9. They will face Tim Cate, a talented sophomore southpaw.
Last year's freshman pitcher of the year is followed up with a solid sophomore campaign. He's got 4 no decisions, so his win-loss record only 4-3. 2.94 ERA, that's 11 starts. He's thrown a complete game, 70 in 3rd innings pitched, 70 hits, 32 runs, 23 earned, 28 walks, but he still struck out 98 this year. 262 average against, 7 wild pitches. He's only hit 1 batter this season in those 70-plus innings.
He's not your prototypical 6'5" right-hander that Jim Penders apparently grows on trees up in Connecticut, but he is a very crafty lefty, and like Jeff said, the strikeouts continue to pile up for him in his sophomore season. We take a look at the defense from left to right. Topa, Kruger, and Feldstein in the outfield. Cate, of course, on the hill, pitching to Bergman, and then Jan at third base, Prado at short, Aaron Hill at second, and Tyler Nesda at first.
They've been solid defensively, 973 fielding average, 53 errors on the season.
Connecticut today will actually have Zach Susie behind the plate, so Cate will offer to Susie, and the first pitch to Connor Wong is fouled back at 91 miles an hour.
Susie will have his hands full if Houston gets on. 75 stolen bases at 92 attempts this season. Susie's been very good, though. He's thrown out 15 of 73.
Connor Wong, an all-tournament player in the past, has great experience here with the Cougars. Comes into today's game hitting .308. One of 2 players on the team with double-digit home runs. He's got 11 bombs on the year, 34 RBIs.
Wong, one of those juniors that's been playing a lot since his freshman year, along with Hollis, Shiner, and Julks. Those are just everyday names we've seen for the 2 past seasons.
1-1. Offers it this one and gets a piece of it. Jim Penders quickly out of the first base dugout and arguing already with first base umpire Scott Graham. How did he not go around? Don't know if a replay would show the barrel of his bat coming true or not. Penders steps back down a step or 2. And Cate's behind, 2-1. Hit hard on the ground, foul by inches, left side. Connecticut earned a 3rd place finish in the regular season last year and claimed the American Tournament Championship here in Clearwater. There's Coach Penders at the rail. Pitching coach Josh McDonald next to him, a very talented staff that has racked up a lot of wins in the American the last 4 years.
I was going to say, Jim Penders wanted the call. Josh McDonald was battling for that call up there. Very, very animated guy. He does a great job with this UConn pitching staff.
Curveball finishes out of the zone. Nice thought by Cate, but he can't quite find it. And that'll run it full. Coach Penders returned 21 letter winners from last year's tournament championship team. We mentioned Willie Yawn at the top of the broadcast. Aaron Hill, also a captain with Yawn. A leadoff walk for Tim Cate. And that'll put Wong on with good speed.
Just the 29th walk of the season issued by Tim Cate, and over 70 innings. And for Wong, that'll be his 27th. Now they're going to test the arm of Zach Susie. He's thrown out 15 runners so far this season. And Houston traditionally likes to get that running game going, as the Cougars again coming in very quick this year, 75 stolen bases.
Houston fell behind in their tournament opener against the Memphis Tigers. Had to rally back late. Squaring to bunt is Hollis. This will be out of the zone.
It was a wild 8th inning in that ball game with Memphis, as the Tigers had taken a 5-2 lead in the top half of the inning, and then they brought a left-hander in, who was Grayson Padgett, knocked that home run straight line down the right field line and took a right turn off the foul pole.
Cate checks the runner at first. Jan creeping in at third. Cate will have to field it. No, it'll be the first baseman Lockhart. Tosses over to Hill, and that'll move the runner into scoring position. little textbook baseball there by Todd Whitting's club, and a sacrifice for Hollis.
32nd sacrifice of the year, and Hollis leads the team with his 7th here in the tournament. Just put it halfway between the plate and the bag and a little bit away from the mound, and that's the only play they can make.
Well, here's one of the best matchups you'll see all afternoon. Last year's Rookie Pitcher of the Year against the reigning Player of the Year in the American, Jake Shiner. Shiner comes into the ballgame hitting .336 to pace the Cougars with 16 homers, 53 runs driven in. Throw down by Susie, not in time, and Wong steals third.
Well, they're going to be aggressive. They have always been aggressive, whether it's Todd Whitting or Rainer Noble before him. They are a very, very fast team, likes to do what they can do on the bags. And so Connor Wong going and gets a nice jump there. You can see how big of a lead he got on the secondary. His 23rd stolen base of the season.
Willie Yon had to dive to his left just to keep that ball from going into left field. Now a sac fly opportunity if Shiner can barrel it up somewhere.
Both of these teams running in the first inning, and for good reason. You take a look at Houston, a 3.48 team ERA, UConn 3.64. They don't often have to play for 4 or 5 run innings. If they can get out 3 or 4 runs in a ball game, they've got a good shot to win.
Swinging hard at that one, but he's late on the 92-mile-an-hour heater. Shiner got on twice in the game against Memphis, and in his first at bat hit his 16th home run of the year. Wong with good speed, standing off third. 1-2. Can't do anything but foul that down the left side. UConn's got a proud history in conference tournaments. They've won 21 conference titles and made 19 trips to the NCAAs. They've also qualified for Omaha in the College World Series on 5 different occasions. That's the most of any school in the American. 1-2, and Susie breaks down to block it.
Well, we talked yesterday, since the 90s on, their men's and women's basketball programs have been the program for UConn. They've gained the most national attention. They've not been to Omaha, I believe, since '79, but UConn baseball was the first program at that school really to put the Huskies on the map on a national stage.
Kate, even in the count, 2-2 to the Player of the Year. Gets a piece of this one. Again, foul down to his third base coach. And Shiner will reset with a 2-2 count. But you take a look at what Houston's done this season, winning the regular season championship, tying with Central Florida. I think Todd Whitting's probably done one of his best jobs coaching. He worked with 16 freshmen and just 1 senior this year. That's outstanding to get a piece of hardware. 2-2. Again, just throws the bat out there to protect. 92 miles an hour from Kate.
Took a young club here and has done outstanding. They feel they've got a chance. If somehow they can meet up with the USF in the championship, potentially one of those teams could get one of the host spots, whip the conference, having 4 out of 8 teams that are going to be eligible for postseason play.
Shiner, again, just a little bit early on it. He's hitting Kate hard, but he can't straighten it out.
Done a nice job here to build this thing up. Came back in 2011, a 27-32 team. Took a step back in 2012. A lot of times you do that in your second year at just 18 wins, but then blew up in their last year in Conference USA with 36 wins. Since then, he's gone 48, 43, 36, and sitting at 37 now this season.
Kate shakes his head to Susie. He's got what he wants. Payoff pitch is coming. That one finished a little low.
Starting to work Kate up with the count a little bit. 15 pitches down for Tim Kate. And again, UConn got Mitch Olam worked up around 20 pitches off the first inning. Olam got a little bit of a break, though, once they threw the runner out.
Tim Kate, 6 foot, 187 pounds. Trying to hit his spot here against the Player of the Year. Late on the fastball this time. It'll be fouled over the right side and find the chairbacks.
Good early battle here between Shiner and Kate. Going to play him normal all the way around the infield, outfield.
Payoff pitch. Struck him out. The Americans' leading RBI producer frozen with a man on third.
Really good setup. Got him on the lower outside portion of the plate on a couple of foul balls. Set him up with the off-speed pitch. The old 12-6 breaking ball that came inside.
Shiner back to the dugout. That'll bring up the center fielder and cleanup hitter Corey Julks.
Corey Julks, one of these guys that kind of flies under the radar, but you look at his numbers, consistently good over 3 years. Was on the freshman team a couple of years ago.
2 outs in the inning. Another curveball. 2 in a row called for a strike.
Houston has had so many stars that a year ago, remember, he made first team, but you wouldn't remember that offhand. This year, just kind of a ho-hum 319 years, had 8 doubles, 5 homers, 35 RBI.
Lifts this one into the air opposite field. Coming in is Feldstein. He's got the shades on and makes the catch. Connor Wong walked, stole a base, got to third, but he's frozen as we're one complete, heading to the top of the second here at the American Baseball Championships. A couple of loud outs for the Houston Cougars will bring the Huskies to the plate when we return.
This is a classroom.
This is a lab.
This is a study break.
This is family.
This is our backyard.
This is UConn.
Thursday afternoon baseball in Clearwater, Florida. Still 3 days of the American Baseball Championships left on tap. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday's championship game. Winner take all will be on ESPN News. See the Cougar fans who have made the trip here to Clearwater. Still a scoreless match as we head to the top of the second, and UConn coming to the plate. Huskies went into the final weekend tied. Just a game back of first place. That's how they'd finish the regular season. The 3 seed overall, UCF and Houston would win the championship. First pitch swinging by Isaac Feldstein. He hits the deck. I think he fouled that one off the bottom half of his leg. And that one smarts. So far in this tournament, the higher seeded team has won 4 of 6, including last game prior to this one when UCF sent Tulane home 8-3. Houston had to rally to beat 7 seed Memphis. They ended up winning 6-5. Ouch. Feldstein at the plate for the Huskies. Cleanup hitter, 259 on the year.
Not a lot of protection there on the ankle. A little thin layer of skin. You hit the ankle and you saw what happened.
Ullum's 0-1, catches the outside 0-2.
Talking about the lower seeds, really just kind of a mild upset there of Memphis knocking off Cincinnati. That's a 6-7 game. The big one again, as you mentioned, the 8 seed knocking off the 1 seed on opening day.
Fouled it off himself again. Count hangs at 0-2. What will East Carolina do for an encore? Let's pull up the bracket and take a look at how the games have fared so far, Jeff.
Well, East Carolina got a good one here today as they're going to face USF tonight. That's going to be approximately 7 o'clock after this one. If the Pirates win again, another day off, that would be big for a Pirate ball club that's been riddled with injuries this season.
That's 4 in a row. Feldstein set down on the strikeout, the first of the game by Ullum. Dangerous player coming to the plate in Willie Yon. Ullum keeps it on the outside half, and Feldstein swings through it. They couldn't keep Willie Yon off the base paths 2 days ago, including a grand slam over the left field wall. That was a close game against Cincinnati, and then UConn scored 4 runs in the 7th, 4 more in the 8th, and really blew it open.
Well, it was a 1-run game when Willie Yawn hit that home run. Cincinnati was going for an upset bid as he got into the back half of that ball game. Things changed quickly. Willie Yawn, a role player. I wouldn't say a role player. He was a starter last year. But as we talked about, behind the DeRoche Duffins, the Sundbergs, and the Melees, now the leader of this ball club.
Team captains ahead in the count, 3-0. UConn's quietly been one of the nation's most consistent teams under veteran head coach Jim Penders. Yawn looks at that one for strike one. The Huskies have won 34 or more games 3 years in a row and have back-to-back winning seasons in American League play. 3-1 on the ground. This one could find a hole, and it does. Into left field, and Willie Yawn's aboard with an out. Ullum gives up his second hit of the ball game.
Take another look at it as Willie Yawn just takes the pitch. It's a little bit low and outside, gets the arms extended, rolls it through off the barrel of the bat. So Willie Yawn keeps on trucking here early in this league tournament.
That will bring up the senior, Alex Lefebvre. Lefebvre with a big RBI double in the previous game. Now a runner on first and 1 out.
Willie on 5 stolen bases. They already tested the arm of Wong, who had only thrown out 13 of 63 coming to the game, but he knocked out Anthony Prano an inning ago. So that may shut down the run game a little bit.
Yawn looking aggressive over at first. Ullum busts him inside, 90 miles an hour on that offering.
It's not going to be a good pitch to run on at 0-2. Comes in just full, and that really ran in. Got the little short arm swing on that one.
Wind blowing out hard to right and right center. Doesn't offer at that one. The officiating crew for today's game: Mark Ewell behind the plate, Scott Graham at first base, Grady Smith at second, and Asa Howard at third. Crews have done a great job through our first 6 games. Yawn tiptoeing off first, and now he'll walk back. One-two will have to wait. Throw over to first, not in time. This is the first of 2 winners bracket games, non-elimination games, that you'll see today on the American Digital Network. Great nightcap ready. The USF Bulls will take on hot-hitting East Carolina. This one's chopped in the infield. The pickup by Shiner over to first in time. Great transition from glove to hand, and he got him by a step.
Great dig. That's the only hope he had, to race in and hope that ball found the glove on the scoop, and it did. And Shiner shows that he's more than a big stick. Comes up with a nice play over at third base.
That'll advance Willie Yawn to second base. Coming to the plate, Chris Winkle with the captain in scoring position.
Winkle, the freshman, at .219 this year. He's been solid as they work him over at first base.
Ullum comes set. Hit on the line. That's a hot shot over to Lockhart at first. He'll step on the bag for the final out of the inning. 1 hit, no runs, 1 left on. We'll go to the bottom of the second, and the Cougars coming to the dish. When we return, you are watching the American Baseball Championships here on our digital network.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
Father and his son out in the outfield, having a little fun on the berm here at Spectrum Field. Beautiful day for baseball. Just under 85 degrees and sunny. Two of the best teams that the American has to offer matching up in this winner's conference bracket game.
Nothing better than hanging out, and Dad's probably like, let's go sit under the shade. And the son's like, no, I want to get a home run ball out here. I don't want just a foul ball. I want a home run ball.
Actually, might have a chance to get one as Houston brings the former Rookie of the Year, Joe Davis, up to the plate. Davis, another fine season for the Houston Cougars. The word got out on Davis, though. Don't leave it over the plate because he will clean it up. Home run numbers down just a little bit this year, but still a very talented hitter. He'll face Tim Cate, UConn's lefty, for the first time today.
A lot of that's going to have to do with, as far as his home run numbers being down a little bit, being pitched a little bit differently this year, even though a freshman had a scouting report out him a year ago about midway through the season. There'll be a little more cautious pitching to Davis. And right now, with Cold Iron, who's just played 8 games, not getting a lot of protection behind him.
Davis, a sophomore, hitting .301 on the year. Went 1 for 3 with a walk in the win against Memphis. The 2-0. This one's going to be back into center field. Davis waited on it, drove it with authority into the outfield. A leadoff single for the Cougars.
Well, they'll have to find a way to push Davis around. Not a big base hitting threat. He's got 1 stolen base on the year. Just rolls it right up the middle, sets the table here for Cold Iron and Triolo. Cold Iron became eligible to play in his first game when the Cougars played a couple of weeks ago, May 12th, at Tulane. He started every game at shortstop since his return.
First hit of the ball game given up by Tim Cate. And the offering to Cold Iron is called strike 1. Cooper, a junior, hitting .241 on the year, 7 hits and 29 at-bats. For Houston, the name of the game is just producing some more offense. Kind of stymied by the pitching of Memphis in game 1. This one popped away from Zach Susi. Susi got the start behind the plate today. Has been pretty effective, keeping things in front of him. Cate pitching here, trying to come away with his first out of the inning. Got him to offer, man on first, and he's out. Second punch out of the game for Tim Cate.
Tim Cate looks pretty sharp after the leadoff walk to Wong an inning ago. Got Shiner to strike out looking for the second out an inning ago. Comes in this time. And again, he's got a lot of movement. He's working down and in on these right-handed hitters.
That'll bring up Jared Triolo, the right fielder for Houston. Triolo, a true freshman, hitting .266. Runner on first, 1 out. One bounces to the plate. Nice block by Susi. Triolo got the start in right field and went 0 for 3. He was lifted for Grayson Padgett, the hero of game 1, who hit that 3-run bomb against Memphis.
UConn pitching struck out 12 Bearcats the other day. They were 10 strikeouts away from breaking that record, so they now have the record all time.
Runner stunts at first. It's hit off the end of the bat. This could be 2. The throw to second's in time. And he'll reach on a fielder's choice. Good job to cover the bag there by Anthony Prado at shortstop.
That strikeout record was 558 in a season in 63 games, set by the team a season ago. Coming in this game at 560. So they set a season record at UConn. Couldn't get the 361 or the 363 there.
You think about all the great teams in UConn history. That is a considerable achievement for Jim Pender's club and his pitching coach. So Triolo reaches for just the second time this tournament on a fielder's choice. Stands back at first base. And Lyle Lockhart ready for his first pitch, stepping back into the box. Lockhart, another freshman at the bottom of the lineup for Houston. Triolo, Lockhart, and Bilamovic, all rookies.
You can fall into a dangerous hole with 3 freshmen at the bottom of your order a lot of times. But Triolo, Lockhart, and Bilamovic have all produced .266, .247, .266. They've knocked around 17 doubles this season for Todd Whitting.
A hit here by the rookie would be clutch. Runner takes off, no swing, one hopper to the wrong side of the bag, and a stolen base for Joe Davis. Make that a stolen base for Triolo, who now stands in scoring position.
Second stolen base of the game. That's 77 on the season, and Houston is going to try to test Susie today, and they've got 2 bags so far.
Picked a good pitch to run on. Now they've got a man on second. Lockhart staring in at Tim Cate. Won't offer at that one. And that'll bring the count 1-2.
And another nice 12-6 breaker there. Just started out well over the letters. Breaks down by the knees.
Lockhart in the first game went 1 for 3, scored a run. Tim Cate's one pitch from getting out of the inning. On the ground, chop foul towards our camera roll. Almost came away with a souvenir.
Well, there he goes.
Congratulations.
You'll always remember Clearwater in 2017. Great grab.
I'm of the mindset that if you're a grown man, you got to find a kid to give that to. Lyle Lockhart at the dish, hanging tough. 1-2 the count. Triolo, the right fielder, with pretty good speed. He'll walk back to second after Cate comes off the mound.
Doesn't need a hard hit ball here. Just needs to roll one through the infield. Triolo should be able to score.
Great eye at the plate there by Lyle Lockhart. That one was going to finish a little bit inside. He was able to lay off of it.
Trying to get him go at it. They've gotten that strike on the inside a couple of times. Moved that in a couple of inches too close. Good setup pitch, though, to even it up at 2-2.
As you said, Lockhart, 17 RBIs on the year, 5 doubles, a homer, and a triple. Won't offer at that one. And now Tim Cate, who was ahead in the count 1-2, has a payoff pitch coming.
He stayed down and in here on Lyle Lockhart. Hasn't tried to run a pitch up and away yet on him. He could go there this time, but he's consistently trying to stay inside on Lockhart.
Bilamovic, the 9-hole hitter, is on deck. If you're Tim Cate, you'd love to get out of the inning and keep him coming up to the plate at the bottom of the next. Cate stares into Zach Susie. Payoff pitch, waited on the breaking ball, and he'll drive it into left field. That'll score Triolo from second base. Here's the throw into second, not in time. An RBI double for Lyle Lockhart. And after Houston scores one in the bottom of the second, UConn answers here in the third.
He had set him up with those pitches off speed inside. He left that one out over the plate, didn't break enough. Just above knee high, and he's able to pull it down to the left field line. Good stroke that time by Lockhart, who drives in his 18th of the season.
Houston with a 1-0 lead. Tim Cate on the hill now facing Bilamovic. First pitch swinging, pops him up on the infield. The wind could play a little havoc with this. Giving chase is Winkle. And it's off his glove. Another opportunity for Bilamovic coming at the plate.
The wind, which has consistently gone out to left, howling out to right today. The balls have blown around all week here. We see it happen again, but that's a play still at the Division I level you've got to make.
The official score calls it an error. First of the game for the UConn defense. Now Bilamovic hitting .266 in his freshman season, back up at the plate.
A 54th error of the season on the UConn defense.
Cate comes set. Inside, and the 90-mile-an-hour heater backs him off the plate.
Down and in once again. That's Cate's strength, the left-hander, that slider. Changes speeds on it, but consistently down and in on these right-handed batters. The one time he left it out over the plate, Lockhart put it in left field.
Runner stunting off second. And Cate's going to throw back. Chance to get him. He's out. What a way with a pickoff for Tim Cate to get out of the inning. Lockhart frozen at second. One run comes across on one hit, the single. Unbelievable. We've got a 1-0 game here with Houston on top. We'll go to the top of the third, and UConn coming to the plate.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
This is a classroom.
This is a lab.
This is a study break.
This is family.
This is our backyard.
This is UConn.
Huskies fans have made the trip down from New England to follow their Connecticut baseball club, who trails here 1-0 against Houston. We'll go to the top of the third. Beautiful, bright day for baseball.
Husky fans getting to enjoy the warm weather like the team for the first time in a while. They have been at home since May 9th, or at least in the state of Connecticut. One of those games against ECU and Hartford. The last time they were outside the state, May 5th through 7th, when they went down to Houston. They did play the One Florida series April 21st to the 23rd in Orlando against the Knights.
First pitch by Ullum to Aaron Hill is called strike one. That wonderful beginning of the year weather for the UConn Huskies always leads them to come down to Florida, play some tournaments, or find other places to start the year. And then they'll have a heavy loaded home schedule at the end of the regular season. Hill quickly behind in the count, 0-2.
That'll change slightly. They'll still have to come to Florida to play some tournaments early in the year, but once they do have that new facility with the field turf, it'll allow them at least probably a few more midweek games early in the season.
Hill, the only batter in the lineup under 200, hitting 177 in his senior season. This one's a check swing, fouled off the first base side. Since 2006, UConn has had remarkable success in conference tournaments, especially at this ballpark. Under Jim Penders, the Huskies have qualified for 5 tournament title games. They won it all in 2013 in the final year of the Big East, and last year over Houston. Waited on the breaking ball, sends it on a line into center field, but the wind's not going to push that one out. And Houston's Corey Julks is under it for the first out of the inning.
I think one of the reasons they have success, not only do they have talent in Jim Penders and his staff excellence. You see this one floated up top, just got up under it. So allowed him to fly out instead of drive that ball to center field. The fact that they have to go on the road so much early in the year. This is their 39th game outside of J.O. Christian Field this season. They are used to playing outside of Stores.
Keith Kruger 0 for 2 in game 1 against Memphis. He drew a walk and also laid down a sacrifice bunt. Still looking for his first hit in Clearwater. This one will be fouled back over the top of the press box.
In fact, only 6 non-conference home games this year for the UConn Huskies.
1-1 again late. Fastball touched 88 there. Ullum working today with Connor Wong. Given up 2 hits. No runs have come across. This one's hit on the ground. Coldiron's able to knock it down, but no throw will come on the infield single by Keith Kruger. His first hit here in the tournament.
Long way to go for Coldiron that time, trying to make the turn. Once he tried to rotate the body, that's where the ball got juggled in the middle. But that's still a long way to go up the middle. That's a good call on the infield single. Just batted it down with the hilt of the glove.
Houston with some very good starting pitching still to come if they can advance in this tournament. Again, this is a non-elimination game, but if you don't have to come out of the winner's bracket, you technically just get one more win to make the title game. Runner takes off. This one's going to drop in front of the center fielder. UConn's going to have runners on the corners after the single into center by the leadoff man, John Topa.
That was a big risk there by Keith Kruger. He never let up going around second base. That ball with the wind blowing out is floating toward Julks. It looked for a moment to me like Julks was going to race in and try to catch it. Takes the risk. Julks pulls up, and you've got first and third and a chance for the Huskies to get this game tied up.
Julks makes the right call there, though. That was too far in front of him. He dives. That ball gets behind him. Not only a run scores, but you're looking at Topa probably at third. So now Ullum in a little bit of trouble. Runners on the corners. He does have one out facing the two-hole hitter, Anthony Prado. Prado singled up the middle in his last at bat and was caught stealing.
Looking for a potential safety squeeze there with Prado. Kruger on third base. He's only going to come down the line as far as Shiner does at third. So if the bunt's not good enough, he'll have the ability to retreat back over to third base.
Ullum's offering hit on the ground. It could be two. No, instead the run will score. The throw over to first, not in time, and we're knotted up at one apiece.
I think Cold Iron may have gotten a little too eager there. That double play ball, and of course that single that hit off the bottom of his glove. You never know how that plays in the mind of a youngster. It is going to be an E6 all the way. That's your 6-4-3 right there to get out of the inning.
2 errors in the ball game now for the Cougars, and that one really hurts hard for Ullum, who thought he might have been out of the inning. Now he'll have to face the catcher, Zach Susi. Susi will have to wait. Flew out to end the first inning in his first at-bat.
Susi, another one of those steady players, a sophomore. 298 was a regular a year ago. Has 9 doubles, 2 homers. He's driven in 40. Has a chance for 41 with that runner at second in John Topa.
Ullum a little bit more deliberate on the hill now. Wants to throw back to second. Almost hits him. And a good block there by the shortstop, Prado. Cold Iron. Unbelievable.
That hurts. Topa broke in front of Cold Iron. The ball came from behind and just caught that one in the chest. He's okay, though.
Susi leads the team in walks. Good eye at the plate. They won't hold the runner on at first. That'll give Lockhart a little more range at first. This one's crushed, but it'll tail foul out towards the other tiki hut and out of the ballpark. See you later.
Gave it a ride in that jet stream out to right field. Susi, his 56th game, 55th start of the year. A year ago, 53 games, 47 starts. He was the primary catcher for Jim Penders a season ago when he hit 250 with 21 driven in.
Lifts the 0-1 foul over the third base side. Susi had an RBI on a fielder's choice, but he still does not have a hit yet in the tournament.
Blew out to beat Almavich in the first inning as that ball lifted a little bit on the left fielder for the Cougars.
Topa standing off second. Prado at first. They'll fake the throw, and that will send Topa scampering back in.
Now, neither Cold Iron nor Hollis broke that time. And Cold Iron a couple of throws ago took one in the chest.
Susi stares in. Hits this one to the first baseman. He'll flip over to Ullum. But both runners in scoring position now. That's as good as a sacrifice bunt. 2 outs in the inning.
Good job by Lockhart at first. Thought for a second after he knocked it down about going to second base. Quickly realized he had no play. And just waited for Ullum to come over and take the throw. Now you just work to the batter, try to get this final out against Feldstein.
Feldstein, a junior, 6 home runs on the campaign, 17 doubles. And every infielder is back on the grass, save for third base. They're expecting for him to smoke it somewhere. This one's going to go a long way into right center field. Feldstein watches it go. A 3-run jack for Isaac Feldstein. And the Connecticut Huskies are up 4-1 on Houston.
Went after the very first pitch in the at-bat from Olam. Drives it to right field. Got it up in the wind. Headed into one of the deeper parts of this ballpark to right center.
The Huskies celebrating here in their first base dugout. Let's watch it go. Outside part of the plate, but he got the barrel on it. And watch this one climb its way up the berm, almost all the way to the sidewalk here at Spectrum Field.
Guess it was appropriate. Hit it right under the UConn banner out there in right center field. Rolled right up under the Husky banner.
Funny how that works some ways. 4 runs in the third now for Connecticut. A 3-run homer for Feldstein. Jan hit a grand slam yesterday. Late on the fastball. I think this one's going to tail out of bounds. And it does. 90 miles an hour there by Ullum.
Well, 2-out home runs could really take the wind out of your sails. We'll see how Ullum comes back. He's done a nice job so far to come back at 0-2 here against Willie Jan. Again, Willie Jan having quite a tournament thus far just in the second game.
Doesn't offer at the 0-2. Go down to first base, and Scott Graham says no swing. For Ullum, that's the 9th home run he's given up on the year. That does lead the pitching staff for Houston. Jan just slaps at this one. 2-hopper to the shortstop. The stretch is made at first base, and Jan is toast, but not before 4 runs come across for the Huskies to take the lead over the Houston Cougars. A 3-run home run by Isaac Feldstein, the junior right fielder. Can Houston answer here in the bottom of the third?
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
Beautiful day for baseball, especially if you're under the Tiki Hut at Frenchie's enjoying a little pastime.
Well, if you're a UCF fan like that man is, it's a lot of fun. He's already seen his team win, advance in this tournament, so he'll take it in today. And you always got to be heads up out there. A couple of home runs. One hit the top of the Tiki Hut, one in the third row earlier today.
Tim Cate back out on the hill for his 3rd inning of work. Houston took the lead 1-0 in the bottom of the 2nd and then gave up 4 runs in the top of the 3rd. Now Tyler Bilamovich, who was frozen at the plate after a caught stealing pickoff, swings at the first pitch and puts it high in the air to left field. It's over the wall. Bilamovich with the bomb, and that cuts the lead in half, 4-2. His first home run of the season in 2017.
And let me tell you about this home run, Garrett. He had 3 lives for this home run. If you remember, he popped it up in the at-bat in the 2nd, the play that Winkle couldn't make. Then he was at the plate where they finished with the out on the bases. That was his 2nd, his 3rd free opportunity. Took advantage of it. Give the guy credit.
330 feet away. He got all of it. So Tim Cate gives up a leadoff home run here in the 3rd inning. Just the 7th home run he's given up all year. We were talking about it off camera. We have seen so many long balls in the first 7 games of this tournament. We're averaging better than 2 a game.
It's 18 now for the tournament by my count. We still have another game tonight. Then we get back on the regular schedule tomorrow.
4-2 game now with UConn on top. Opposite field shot. It's going to drop in right field. And Connor Wong, the leadoff man, follows up the home run with a single.
It's kind of odd how the tournament's gone so far. A lot of high-scoring affairs in a league this year with some veteran pitching in it.
Connor Wong, a 300 hitter on the season, adjusted well to that breaking ball. So a home run and an opposite field single, and that will bring Joshua McDonald, the pitching coach. He'll come out and talk with his starter, Tim Cate. And you take a look at what UConn has done under Penders and McDonald in terms of drafted players. Scott Oberg currently with the Rockies, Matt Barnes with the Red Sox. Numerous Big East and American pitchers of the year under that dynamic duo. They continue to pile up wins and finish in the top half of the conference standings every year.
And again, they had several in the big leagues a year ago, including Springer, Ahmed, Barnes, Oberg, all spent time at the big league level a season ago.
I mean, I remember George Springer in this tournament for 3 years. He'd run out to center field every inning with a backflip. I mean, the athleticism that was on display with that young man. Now just killing it for the Houston Astros.
As tentative of coaches and managers are now, and the pros are the college leagues, would you not
do that, please?
Please don't backflip anymore.
Connor Hollis comes to the plate now. The 2-hole hitter dropped a sacrifice on the first base side to start the game off.
Fozzie Smith were still playing. That'd probably be written into his contract where you could do it on opening day only.
But then guys like you and me wouldn't have that memory.
That's right.
Anytime. Cate will come set. Runner on first is Wong, who's got good speed. First pitch swinging, and that is smashed towards Houston's dugout.
Houston's been able to run so far today. A pair of stolen bases. Wong stole 3rd earlier today in the 1st inning. And, of course, Triolo got 2nd an inning ago.
Houston finished 15-9 in American play this year, tied for first place with UCF. They have won 3 American championships under Todd Whitting. 1 tournament title, 2 regular season crowns. A little stunt over at first by Wong. After he hit the single, he'll tiptoe back in.
He said Todd Whitting did a nice job. He came to that school when they were still in Conference USA in 2012. Had a solid team that 2012 year. Took the step back in 2013. Of course, that's when we really fleshed things out. They progressively has gotten better and better.
Hollis will have to wait. Counts even at 1-1 on the throw over to first base.
And it would be odd to watch the title game on Sunday with no Houston Cougar team. Now, UConn's going to try to prevent that. So were a couple of other teams.
Whitting in his 7th season, 244 wins with the Cougars. Cate comes set. Squaring to bunt. It'll stay fair. Willie Yawn's going to have to make a quick throw to first, and it's in time. Sacrifice bunt moves the runner into scoring position for the Cougars, who are trying to erase this 2-run deficit.
Usually you want to lay a sacrifice bunt down to force 2 outs, but now just 1 out. That's going to give a crack at it for their co-player of the year. He did a nice job because he didn't show bunt on the first pitch. Able to get it laid down over to third base. Jan makes a nice grab. But now Shiner's going to have an opportunity here. Remember, Shiner went down looking back in the 1st inning.
Already has 1 home run in this tournament. He's hit a couple of balls very hard. He'll stand in against Tim Cate. Connor Wong standing off second base. They'll walk him back.
Shiner just busted onto the scene this year in his 1st season with Houston. Played 2 years for Damon Nedlinger at Santa Rosa Junior College. He led them to a league and a state title and was the Big 8 most valuable player in the NorCal Player of the Year.
Cate walks him back again. Houston's done a great job of getting into Tim Cate's head. He's had to throw over. He's had to walk players back. Now he has a chance to focus on the player of the year. Wants a piece of that one. Hard swing. It'll be lifted a mile high into right field. Catch comes over. Isaac Feldstein makes that one, and the runner will stay at second base.
Shiner's had a pair of RBI opportunities. 1 with 2 outs in the one out. Actually, both with 1 out. He went down looking with 1 away and a runner at third in the first. This time he pops it up to the right with that runner in scoring position at the second. So Shiner's had his opportunities early. Cates did a nice job to get around him.
Now Corey Julks came in hitting .319, flew out to right field in his first at bat. Will settle in. They've got him shaded a little bit towards third base in the outfield. He's going to put this one into the air. Settling under it will be Keith Kruger. Nice performance there by Tim Cate and the UConn Huskies. They give up the home run and the single, but stop the bleeding. They lead it 4-2. Big bomb by Bilamovic over the left field wall.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
This is a classroom.
This is a lab.
This is a study break.
This is family.
This is our backyard.
This is UConn.
We welcome you back into Clearwater, Florida. Great day. Top 4, and UConn leads it 4-2 over the Houston Cougars. Huskies coming back to the plate here against the Cougar starter, Mitch Ullum. Ullum so far has given up 4 runs on 4 hits, and uncharacteristically, his defense has committed 2 errors in the field behind him early in this game.
Yeah, a couple of tough ones so far for Ullum. It's allowed UConn to get ahead, and that allowed the inning to get extended and bring Isaac Feldstein to the plate that got the 3-run homer. Without the errors, they're probably out of the inning at that point.
6, 7, 8 coming to the plate for UConn. Leading off, Alex Lefebvre. Lefebvre was retired on a dynamite play at third base by Jake Shiner. Otherwise, he'd have been on. He's 0 for 1 today. Lefebvre came into the ball game hitting .258 in his senior season. Won't offer at that one. He said he called time and didn't get it.
I mean, you don't have to be given timeout. That's the thing. Now, he kind of took his hands off the bat. He didn't do the big league, I'm going to hold my hand up. They teach you don't take your hands off of the bat, and he wants another discussion with Mark Yule about it.
The 0-2. Can't touch the breaking ball. Ullum's got the strikeout to start the inning.
One thing you and I were talking about 2 days ago, whether it's college baseball, as we take a look at the strikeout. Nice one. Big swing and a miss about how to speed games up. For me, it's having umpires limit the amount of timeouts you get in the box. You don't need multiple timeouts every pitch. And I'm not saying that's what Lefebvre needed. Lefebvre was trying to get timeout. Just didn't get it.
That'll bring Chris Winkle to the plate, the first baseman. 0 for 1 in today's ball game. Talked about how the winds have shifted and are now blowing out hard through right field. That certainly favors left-handed bats. There's a big cut by Winkle. Can't make contact, though. Winkle with 7 doubles, 3 triples on the year, and 14 RBIs. He is a true freshman for Jim Penders, hitting .219.
Came out of Amity Regional under Sal Coppola.
Outside, and Ullum can't bring it in.
filling Bobby Melly's shoes over at first base that anchored first for a long time. Boy, Melly, for a big guy, though, moved well at first base, especially that senior year. I know he was upset he didn't get drafted as junior. Kind of leaned out a little bit. Was a lot more mobile over at first base last year.
One of a number of current or recent players for Jim Penders that had over 200 career hits. Tough to replace that production. Winkle now ahead in the count, 3-1. See if he can catch up with the fastball. He makes contact up the middle. It'll be past the glove of the shortstop, Prado. So a one-out single, and UConn's got a runner on first. That'll bring up Aaron Hill to the plate.
Seeing eye single as Cold Iron made a long run at it, but that's just quick enough to split Cold Iron to Hollis.
Aaron Hill will come to the plate now. Flew out to center field in his first and only at-bat. Chance to keep the hits coming.
You don't see a lot of first basemen with stolen base threats, but Winkle does have 9 this season.
Throw over to first base, not in time. The third baseman, Jake Shiner, coming in on the grass, might be expecting a sacrifice to move the runner. Or with the speed of Hill, maybe he'll try and leg one out.
Houston's been able to run today. However, UConn, their only attempt, Anthony Prado back in the first, was caught as they throw a little pitch out.
Here's the throw down, and if that had ended in the glove of Lockhart, he might have had a pickoff.
I think the ball, the mitt, and Winkle all arrived at the same time at first base. But you're right, he had him pegged.
Have to pay a little closer attention down there, will Winkle. Ullum behind in the count, 1-0.
Still a pretty aggressive lead.
Well, even the count at 1-1 on Hill. Hill 5'9", 190. Connecticut native. Takes off. This one's popped back. We'll see if the wind keeps it in play. No, that's about 2-3 rows back. Next to Houston's dugout.
Winkle was going on the pitch, got another big jump. He's been getting an aggressive lead, big secondary, got a huge jump on that. Would have been hard for Wong to gut him out had that ball not been fouled off. So they'll have to watch for Winkle. UConn again trying to get the run game going, but it was the big hit by Feldstein. And the third that's given them the lead.
Hill went 0 for 3 with the walk in the previous game against Cincinnati. He'll step back in here behind in the count, 1-2 with a man on. Runner takes off again. Throw down by Wong. Ball beat him there, and the tag applied.
What a tag by Hollis at second base. Second runner Wong's thrown out today after only throwing out 13 in the regular season. Hollis comes in front of the bag, throws it behind the back to get Winkle. Let's take a look at this. Good throw, but it was going to be a little shallow. He does the splits. What a swipe.
You'll definitely see that again at the year-end banquet. Fantastic play on the tag. So now Hill stands back in, and Ullum's one strike away from getting out of the inning. 2 hopper on the Hill. This will be Shiner to first in time. So a caught stealing and a ground out, and that's how it plays out in the fourth. We'll head to the bottom of the frame. We'll be back after this with UConn on top of Houston, 4-2.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
Fan picks up a souvenir, caught a foul ball here in the stands. UConn leading 4-2 against the Houston Cougars.
Some camera awareness there. He knew he was going to be on. Going to get his time on the American Digital this afternoon, and good for him.
Well, Houston will come to the plate trailing by 2. 2 runs on 4 hits, 2 errors in the field. 4 runs on 5 hits for the Huskies, 1 error committed. Davis has been part of the power surge in the lineup as the Cougars have 2 players with 10 or more homers for the first time since the NCAA changed the bats in 2010. Davis with 20-plus career home runs to his credit in 2 seasons. Swings through that one.
One of the best freshman campaigns in program history for the Cougars a year ago. Broke the all-time freshman record in homers and RBI. Tied the doubles record.
Sends this one through the infield into right. Leadoff single for Joe Davis.
Joe Davis just wants to show everyone I'm not just a big guy that pulls it down the left field line for home runs. Watch me shoot one through the right side of the infield.
Kind of busted him inside a little bit. Went the opposite field with it. It ends up in right. Cooper Coldiron, who struck out in the second, comes to the plate here with a man on and no one out.
Joe Davis with 1 steal, not a big stolen base threat. I'm sure he's proud of that stolen base. He got an infield single in the series at Memphis, and I kind of joked with Todd Whitting the next day that
this one's hit on the ground. Diving stop is made. The flip over to second in time. Wow, Coldiron will reach on the fielder's choice, but what a stab in the field by the shortstop, Anthony Prado.
I don't care who's running to second base. That's a great job by Prado. The momentum and everything taking him away from the bag. Way to lay out. He didn't even get up on a knee and just kind of flipped it back. But I was talking to Todd Whitting, and I know he's probably proud of his home runs, but I bet he's going to talk about that infield single all season long. He just laughed.
I'm sure Cecil Fielder stole a base once or twice. Not a fair comparison, though. Jared Triolo comes to the plate. He'll have to wait.
Well, it's as I've said before, they recruited Joe Davis to jog around the bases, not steal bases.
Triolo reached on a fielder's choice, stole a base back in the second. Squares to bunt. Coming in is Willie Yon at third, but he won't make contact.
Good dig that time by Susie. Triolo, 4 varsity letters at Travis High School, district MVP. First team all district and the newcomer of the year. Won the coaches award and was a 2-time defensive MVP.
Good size, too. 6'3", 195 for a freshman. Out of the state capital of Texas.
Great character kid as well off the field in high school. Completed over 100 hours of volunteer service. Was a member of the Young Men's Service League. So not only getting it done on the field, but off the field as well.
Coldiron standing off first. Now he'll dive back in on the throw over. Houston with a run in the bottom of the second and the third. But I've been impressed with Tim Cates so far for Connecticut. Really done a good job of limiting base runners. This will be the 12th start of the season for Cate. Again, 4-3 on the year with a 2.9 ERA. Just an overpowering strikeout guy. Came in with 98 Ks in 70 innings pitched. Rares back with a 92-mile-an-hour heater there, and it's fouled back. He has 100 on the season now, 2 Ks in the game.
He's allowed 8 men on base through 3+ innings, but he has done a great job of damage control with that 1 run in the second. Able to get a couple of force outs. That great pick play in the second to end the inning.
Breaking ball finishes high, and Triolo won't offer at that one.
12-6 breaking ball that stayed up toward 12 o'clock. Wouldn't come down to the zone to Triolo. Again, letting his defense work. They've been solid this season.
A little bit better placement there by Cate, but the tag not applied in time. Triolo with a man on. Lyle Lockhart on deck. Goes after the 2-1, and he's late. Fouls it back right over the dish.
Of course, Tim Cate came in with 98 strikeouts. He's already had a pair today for 100 strikeouts. And now 200 plus for his career, just the 10th UConn pitcher to reach that mark.
The fact that he did that in 2 seasons gives you an idea of the level of his talent. 2-2. On a line. This could be 2. The flip over to first in time. A double play for UConn, and Tim Cate has gone 4 complete and limited Houston to just 2 runs on 5 hits. Jeff, that's about as pretty as they get.
They don't get lined up any better than that.
We'll be back right after these messages.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
This is a classroom.
This is a lab.
This is a study break.
This is family.
This is our backyard.
This is UConn.
Sun shining high above us here in Clearwater after a tough day with the weather yesterday. 2 to 3 inches of rain dropped on the Clearwater area, and everybody has come back out to the ballpark for the 2017 American Baseball Championships.
Had that rain roll in right after, it wasn't 10 minutes after Cincinnati and Memphis wrapped up yesterday. A lot of rain and then cloudy when we started out today, but barely any clouds in the sky now as we go to the top of the 5th.
Keith Kruger will lead things off for Connecticut. Kruger singled, scored a run in the 3rd. Puts this one on the ground. 2 hops to the second baseman. And an easy play for Connor Hollis.
You know, Olam and Cate right now seem to be settling in after some early runs in this ball game. Not a lot of hard contact the last couple of innings as Kruger just a routine grounder over to second base.
That'll bring up John Topa, top of the order. Houston's pitching staff continues to be one of the best in the American. First pitch offering is a little bit out. In 2016, the Cougars ranked #1 in walks allowed per 9 innings with just less than 2 per game. Their strikeout to walk ratio was tops, and #2 in the nation in ERA with 2.48.
John followed up his freshman campaign solid at 268 with 9 doubles, 11 RBI. Remember a year ago, 49 games, 42 starts. One of 3 Huskies to hit over 300. He hit 303, one of 3 Huskies, that 300 mark.
Opposite field, but this one will end up in the glove of Jared Triolo. A couple of quick outs here for Mitch Olam, and the starter looks to be cruising after that inning.
Remember, Olam and Cate got their pitch count elevated a little bit in the 1st. They have settled in as he is at 74, so still a little bit high, but as you mentioned, a couple of quick outs here. If he could finish it up with Prado, he would be about on track.
Prado squared the bunt. That brought in Shiner from 3rd base, but he won't make contact.
Prado, the freshman, 293, a homer, 29 driven in. Played for Matt Raventi at Poly Prep.
All over this one, and it's just foul down the 3rd base side. Good eye there by Asa Howard, today's umpire on the left side of the infield.
Been on twice today with a single and reaching on an air.
Breaking ball on the outside half, and it's 1-2 now.
Olam with a pair of strikeouts, looking for #3 against Anthony Prado.
Right back into his glove, and he gets out of the inning. 1-2-3. He threw less than 10 pitches there in the 5th. We're 5 complete with the Huskies on top 4-2. Top of the 6th. We'll see a little bit more action when we come back after this on the American Digital Network.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
Welcome everybody back in as UConn has doubled up Houston 4-2. Bottom of the 5th coming here, and the Cougars coming to the plate. One of the best offenses in the American Conference this year. They rank 8th in the NCAA, lead the American with 23 triples this season. And even cooler, the Houston Weekend Series starters have yet to allow a triple this year. Talented on both sides of the ball, Lyle Lockhart will lead it off. The first baseman will stand in on the right side.
For all the tradition UConn has, especially on the mound, Tim Cate now with 100 strikeouts for 2 seasons in a row, the first player to do that in school history.
Cate rocks, fires, 92 miles an hour on the outside part of the plate.
Recorded his 100th strikeout of the season when he struck out Cold Iron back in the 2nd.
In the regular season series in May, Houston won 2 games out of 3 against Connecticut. In the May 5th game at Houston, Tim Cate went 8 innings pitched in the start, gave up 11 hits, 4 earned runs, and struck out 9. He did not factor in the decision. Lockhart looks at a 2-1, and now the count climbs.
They lost that game 6-5, a 1-run game. Cate went 8 innings, gave up 11 hits, but he also struck out 9. Only gave up the 3 freebies on the 3 walks.
Lockhart with that big double in his last at bat. They'll pop him up. He's a little bit late. This could be an adventure, though. Hill trying to settle under it, and the ball comes out of his glove. Winding up on second base is Lyle Lockhart. They'll say it's a fair ball as it pops out of Hill's glove. Jeff, I can't wait to see this replay.
That was a tough play to make, and he was right on the line as he came across. And again, that wind really wreaking havoc. He reached back, and the foot was behind the pole, but it did look like it was on the chalk. So it's going to be a leadoff double. We've talked about how things average out in baseball. You can get a double like that. You could also blister one and have a hit taken away.
Time is called while the UConn bullpen runs down through the left field wall. They're going through the gate at this moment. About 9 to 10 young student athletes heading out there.
Don't forget to lock the door. You're the last one in.
It's been a nice game pitched by Tim Cate so far, but he's got a runner behind him on second base for Bilamovich. A little late on the fastball, still really good life. You know, 91, 92 miles an hour. That's where Cate has worked for the majority of this game.
Where Olam has had his pitch count elevated up into the mid to upper 70s. Cate, despite getting it up just a little bit in the first inning, has really been able to settle back down. 60 pitches now here in the bottom of the 5th.
Two doubles in the ball game for Lockhart, who now stands on second. Bilamovich won't offer at that one.
Remember, Bilamovich's home run got a couple of opportunities, a drop foul ball in the second inning when he's at the plate, and then a pickoff play to end the inning. He got that third opportunity, made the most of it.
I'm sure Kate's well aware of it, that the 9-hole hitter tagged him for a ball that went yard. Won't offer at that one. Good thinking by Bilamovic. This one kind of falls off the table. He's ahead in the count, 2-1.
Played at Cy Ranch High School. They won a state title in 2015. A 32-6 record his senior season. Went to the regional final.
Anything into the outfield will likely score Lockhart. 92 pumped up there by Tim Cate. And he's late with the foul tip.
Two-time All-State honoree, first-team All-District, played for the All-Greater Houston All-Star team twice. 426 career hitter, also on the mound, 0.74 ERA. So could factor in as a dual-role player for Todd Whitting.
2 hits in the tournament for Bilamovic so far, including the home run in the 3rd.
He has thrown 5 games this year, 5 1/3 inning, with a 5.06 ERA. So Todd Whitting, Houston always has those dual-role players. The state of Texas obviously so great at baseball. Remember Brad Lincoln, National Player of the Year, first baseman, DH pitcher.
The 2-2. And it'll bring it full. That one pops out of the glove and goes forward on Zach Susi.
Brad Lincoln, the National Player of the Year when he won the Golden Spikes, the SID's dream, because I remember the speech, former SID for Houston, Jeff Conrad, he made sure to thank Jeff Conrad in his acceptance speech.
The next pitch for Tim Cate will be the 65th. Stares into Susi. Now he's got what he wants. He shook it off, and now he's got it. And time called by Bilamovic. I love that. A veteran move by a freshman. Oh, you got what you want? I'm going to put you on ice.
A little cat and mouse game going on here.
Bilamovic's first home run of the year. Got Houston on the board. And he draws the walk.
Well, they've turned over the lineup back to the top of the order to Connor Wong, who's been on twice. And you're a couple of batters away from Jake Shiner. You've gotten away, striking out Shiner with 1 out and a runner on, and getting to pop up with 1 out and a runner in scoring position already. You're only going to be able to go to the well so often.
That one finished a little bit low. Second walk of the game given up by Tim Cate. Now Wong, who drew that leadoff walk and stole a base back in the 1st, singled in the 3rd, will return to the plate.
Cate, who had been cruising along since giving up that home run in his first really shaky situation since the 2nd inning.
Got to be careful here. Wong with great power, 11 bombs on the year and 12 doubles. He represents the go-ahead run. Won't offer at that one, and Susi has to block it.
Wong 308, 12 doubles to go along with those 11 home runs. First team a year ago as the utility player. One of 2 Cougars who started off 59 games. This year Wong, 57th game, 57th start of the season.
Three home runs in this tournament for Houston, including one today. This one is smashed foul into their own dugout.
He is the only Cougar to start all 57 games this season. Shiner now has started 56, so has Triolo, but Wong, the Iron Man the last 2 years.
Well, he'll be a senior next year. I'm sure that they'll give him a little fun about that. Maybe leave some shoe inserts out, Geritol bottles. But you know what? Good to have a player like that on your squad. Watches the 1-1 cruise by for ball 2.
2-1 with Lockhart sitting out at second. Houston's been aggressive with the base pass, but they're going to sit around and wait for the base hit here. Now they're going to come out and talk to Cate, try to get things settled down, get everything straightened up, get that bullpen a little bit of time.
Ryan Radu up in the pen for Connecticut right now. Just popped up. He is a redshirt senior right-hander. Be interesting to see him come into the ball game. Radu has been around this program for a long time.
Renew 24 outings on the year, all out of the bullpen, 2-2 with a save and a 4.22 earned run average.
What's Josh McDonald talking to his pitcher about right now?
Don't worry about the batter. Try to get this ground ball here, get a double play. If you get a double play, you got Lockhart at third, then you try to go after Hollis. But the biggest thing he is stressing, I can assure you, is that you need some outs now because Jake Shiner, not on deck, but he's in the hole. He's 2 batters away.
Leadoff man steps back in. He's ahead in the count, 2-1. Long hitting .310 on the season. That'll even the count up at 2.
And it's not so much the leadoff double, but the walk that followed to be of Mavich that's got him in his jam.
Still nobody out in the inning here, bottom of the 5th. And Cate's going to take his time and step off.
I don't know if he got some dust in the eye or not as the home plate umpire, Mark Yule, came out to have a word with him.
Big pitch here from Cate. Got a piece of it. It'll be foul, third base side.
Ran it in on the handle. Couldn't get a lot of good contact that time. Trying to bury him inside or low. Again, trying to pound that ball into the ground. UConn's turned 35 double plays. Houston, a little double play apt, but they put the ball in play a lot, so you would expect the number to be higher. They've hit into 50 double plays coming into this game.
Connecticut infield comes set. Called strike 3. The leadoff man set down by Tim Cate, his 3rd punch out of the game.
1 walk against 3 strikeouts. That time he took a lot off of that pitch.
And that went right over the heart of the plate. Beautiful pitch by the sophomore, Tim Cate.
Sometimes those are the toughest ones. You're thinking down and in. He's going to come out with a slider, try to hit me up and tight, and then right down Broadway on the good old-fashioned curveball. Now a double play gets you out of the inning. It would be much better to have Shiner lead off the next inning than hit it with runners on here.
Hollis takes a look at ball 1. Some crafty lefties stand out that I've seen from UConn over the last decade, including a guy like Greg Nappo, who ended up making the most appearances in school history under Jim Penders. Cate, though, is just one of those spectacular players who is able to hit spots when called upon, even with runners behind him on base. Behind in the count here to Connor Hollis. Hollis dropped a couple of sacrifice bunts in the game so far. Came in hitting just over 250. Swings at the 1-0 and misses.
Took a healthy hack at that as he dropped it down to 79 miles an hour. A little bit more severe break than he anticipated. Hollis' 56th game, 55th start of the season.
Trying to reach base for the first time today. Cate's going to walk him back. Well, the middle of the game has certainly slowed down a little bit for both pitchers. Ullum looked very sharp in the last frame, top of the 5th. Cate shaking his head. Trying to forget about 2 runners behind him on base. Hollis won't offer at that one. Some UConn fans asking, where was that? The count climbs to 2-1.
He stepped off against Lockhart a couple of times. You take a look at this pitch. He had him at the letters, maybe just off a little bit, but Lockhart will not be quite as aggressive. Remember, he was picked off at second base by Cate back in the 2nd inning.
Hollis gets into this one, puts it into the air to left field. The hard charge coming in by John Topa, and that'll be the 2nd out of the inning.
Tate's done a great job after putting the first 2 men on to come back and get the next 2 outs. Again, he ran him in on the handle and got up under that one, muscled it out there. But a good jump by Topa.
That'll bring up the Conference Player of the Year, Jake Shiner, to the plate. Man that patrols the hot corner.
But up here, this is the 3rd time with the runner in scoring position. The last time with less than 2 outs when he struck out and popped up the right. Now the first time he's been up there with 2 outs in the inning.
Won't offer at this one, and it's called strike 1. Since his home run in the first inning against Memphis, he is 0 for 4. He has also been hit by a pitch and scored a run.
Well, you can look at that 2 ways. Struggling since the home run, or he's due for a home run. And Big 8 MVP coming out of Santa Rosa Junior College at high school. He went to Maria Carrillo Pumas High School. First team All Umpire back in 2014. First team All League performer. Also a basketball player in high school.
Lifts this one into the air. Might get a little help. Going long in right field. It's off the wall. 1 run is scored. Shiner rounding second. 2 runs will come to score. And they'll send Shiner an attempt at an inside the park home run. The ball will beat him there. And Susie will hang on to it. But Houston has tied it up as we end the inning. On a 2 RBI triple by the Player of the Year, Jake Shiner.
When you see him go to the right field, he decided to go for 3 when that ball ricocheted away and they couldn't get the clean pickup. Still, he ties it up.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
This is a classroom.
This is a lab.
This is a study break.
This is family.
This is our backyard.
This is UConn.
2 runs in the bottom of the 5th inning for the homestanding Houston Cougars, and we're all knotted up at 4 runs apiece. Barstool starting to get populated here at Spectrum Field in Clearwater, Florida. Garrett Walbert, Jeff Brightwell. Jeff, we talked about Shiner being due. He'd gone 5 at-bats since that home run in the first game against Memphis. He logged on and got gone there.
It was clutch that time. The prior 2 times, just 1 out. This time, 2 outs in the inning. Drives one to right center field. Got a little aggressive there as they sent him trying to go for a home. It wasn't so much the Karam getting away, but when they couldn't pick up the ball cleanly, they went for it. You can't blame them trying to get that go-ahead run. And by the way, I have heard they're going to try to get us out at Frenchie's next year.
Oh, I can't wait.
Just setting the guys up in the production booth. Little a la Harry Carey, the old Cubs out in the outfield.
I don't know if we should set up the production staff at Frenchie's next to the bar. I'm sure that's where they would prefer. As Ullum back in, had a 1-2-3 inning in the 5th, comes back out for the 6th. And the first pitch to Zach Susie. It's 1-1. Fouls this one off. Now he's ahead in the count. I thought that ball, getting as high up in the air as it did in right field, had a chance to get out of here by Shiner. Bounces off the wall and kind of gets away from both the outfielders.
I think it took a little bit harder ricochet than they anticipated off that wall. And I think they may have thought it may have hit off the upper part where it's fencing and doesn't get a big bounce, but that hit the top, the padding, and kicked away. 3rd
strikeout of the ball game as Susie goes down swinging. Ullum has retired 5 in a row.
7 of his last 8 now for Ullum.
Isaac Feldstein, dangerous hitter. Big 3-run home run back in the third. He'll stand in here with nobody on and 1 out. Feldstein got all of it 2 innings ago. Ullum staying away from him. Behind in the count, 2-0. Little movement in Houston's bullpen. Some guys walking around, but nobody throwing as of yet. This will be the 85th pitch for Ullum. And he swings through that one. 2-1.
I think, though, some of the pitch counts getting high early on. You'll see the bullpens come into play. Houston's in really good shape with their bullpen. And so is UConn.
Reared back, threw it by him again. 89 miles an hour.
Could see a couple of good closers in this potentially. Russell for UConn with 14 saves on the year. And then Todd Whitting relies a lot on Aaron Fletcher. 2-1 record, 7 saves.
And I mean, to this point, for Houston, we still haven't seen the starters in Trey Cumbie and John King, who are a combined 15-2 on the year, with an ERA approaching about 2.8. Can this one get over the third baseman's head? Just over the glove there of Shiner. A 1-out single by Isaac Feldstein, his second hit of the game.
So that makes this game huge for UConn. You put, as we take a look at this little hit, as you just got it over his outstretched glove, but then Cold Iron couldn't make it up. Combined at 15-2, they win this game. You don't say they're in the championship, but boy, that's a tough 18 innings if you're going to try to get past Houston twice on Saturday.
That is correct. Willie Yon will come to the plate. He's had a great tournament so far for the Huskies. Singled into center field back in the second, grounded out to the shortstop. 1 for 2 today. Looks at strike one called.
You know, Willie Yon, as we saw 2 days ago, a knack for a big hit in these clutch situations. We're in the back half of this game now. Again, it was a 1-run game in the 7th on Tuesday.
Yon wants to go yard into right field. Not enough air under it, and it'll be brought down by Triolo. Had a good thought, just not enough power behind it, and he's retired for the second time today.
Yon a little aggressive that time. That went just over the letters, so he goes a little bit out of the zone. Still got a lot of it in front of the warning track.
That'll bring up Alex Lefebvre to the plate with 1 on and 2 out. 0 for 2 today with a strikeout. Ullum comes set, man behind him on first. That one's a little outside. A reminder that we'll be back on the air after this one. USF and East Carolina. USF, who went into the final weekend tied with UCF Houston for first place in the tournament, falls to the 4 seed. And of course, East Carolina, who was predicted in the preseason to win the conference outright, finishes as the 8.
The oddest thing, midway through the season, how much this league was together midway through the season, not early. At one point had a 5-way tie for first place after week 4 of league play.
Great competition in the American. Feldstein, the right fielder, standing on first base for the Huskies. Lefebvre sends this one into right center field. Feldstein's going to motor around second base. Lefebvre will hold it first. Runners on the corners with 2 outs against Houston and Mitch Ullum.
That's going to create a big opportunity for a freshman, and Chris Winkle, who's already got a base hit in this ball game, a chance to give him the lead. Again, as you see it, sent out to right center field. This time Triolo able to cut it off and hold Feldstein at third and keep him from going first to home.
Always great to hit a home run, but to take it opposite field on a little low fastball, that one feels great as well. Now standing off first base is Alex Lefebvre as Chris Winkle comes to the dish. Got 2 outs, though. Might want to see a pitch or 2 before he swings. Chops this one foul.
Going opposite field is a lot bigger than you would think it would be. You talk to head coaches and hitting coaches in particular. They talk about how much that will get into a pitcher's head. You usually think the right-handers are going to pull it to left, the left-handers to right, and they're trying to stay away from you, and you just shoot it out to right or left field. just drives them nuts.
Feldstein standing off third. Lefebvre on first. Winkle's 1 for 2 today with a single, but he was caught stealing to end the inning in his last at bat. Count evens at 1.
Lefebvre jumping around. He has yet to attempt a stolen base this year. And again, Wong's thrown out Prado and Winkle today.
Feldstein tops this team in slugging and doubles and runs very well. He's standing off third. Can Winkle put it in play? This one's low. Just gets away from Wong, but only outside the batter's box.
Nearing 100 pitches now for Olam. And I'm not sure if Lefebvre jammed something or has a shoestring busted or what over at first base. I don't think he's injured.
That's the case.
Yeah. Gonna have to go back to the Velcro shoes.
Pair of relievers up now for Houston as Olam approaching 100. The 2-1. Won't offer at it. 89 miles an hour.
If the freshman reaches here, you've got a senior with a lot of experience standing on deck at Aaron Hill.
Olam staring into Connor Wong. Now he's got what he wants. Fouls this one back in, and a payoff pitch is coming.
If Olam continues to be in trouble, Brayson Herdsman, you just saw a freshman left-hander, the pin for the Houston Cougars.
Two runs in the bottom of the 5th for Houston to tie it up. UConn's trying to go back on top here. The man on third. A pretty good runner standing over off first in Lefebvre. Olam walks him, and the bases are loaded for Connecticut.
Now the freshman does the job he wants. Keeps things going, draws the walk, and now will give it up to the senior. Aaron Hill. Hill today 0 for 2. He's put the ball in play twice.
And that's the first free pass of the game by Mitch Olam. That'll prompt a meeting at the mound. Pitching coach will come out for Houston.
It's only the 3rd walk total in the ball game between the two pitchers, as Cates walked a pair while striking out 4. Get a couple on the bullpen right now for the Houston Cougars, including Brayson Herdsman. If they end up going to Herdsman also, the Cougars look like Joey Polito getting loose. Polito 2-3, a 3.97 ERA. Herdsman 3-2 with a 3.77 earned run average. Polito 18 outings, all out of the pen. Herdsman 16 outings. He's had 3 starts this year.
A Husky at every base and an uncharacteristic walk given up by Mitch Olam. The Cougars are 3rd in the nation in strikeout to walk ratio, 2.35, and walks allowed per 9 innings. They give up just 2.2 free passes per game. Cougar fans chattering on their fingernails, hoping that no runs come across here and the tie is preserved. Aaron Hill, as Jeff mentioned, 0 for 2 today. Hill, though, with a great opportunity to go back on top for the Huskies. First pitch swinging, and he can't catch it. 90 miles an hour.
Hill trying to lift one there. He knows he needs just a fly ball to try to get in Feldstein from third.
Hill got into just 2 games against Houston in the regular season, both as a pinch runner. Never logged an at-bat. Puts this one in the air. Should be playable for Corey Julks. And the bases are left loaded by the Huskies, and we remain tied at 4 apiece. Mitch Olam wriggles off the hook. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th inning with Houston looking for a little more, trying to break this stalemate on the American Digital Network.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
Last time we saw the Cougars come to the plate, Jake Shiner was blasting a triple off the wall, and 2 runs came in to score and tie it up. We are still stuck at 4 apiece. Palm trees blowing in the wind here at the Phillies spring training facility and the home of the Clearwater Threshers, their Class A team, here in the Tampa Bay area. Clearwater, St. Petersburg, Tampa.
Awesome place for this tournament. The coaches love it. Guys stay out at Clearwater Beach. That's another big bonus. You advance and get a day off. You get a little time at the beach. They can't stay out all day in the sun, but the coaches allow them to get out and have a little bit of fun.
Tim Cate will come back up on the hill for Connecticut. He's allowed 4 runs on 7 hits through 5+ innings now, facing Corey Julks. For Mitch Ullum, who went over 100 pitches, he has pitched 6 innings or longer 11 times this year now. Be interested to see if he'll come back out. He's got some longer outings than that on the docket.
Twice he's gone 9 innings, but his longest outing, as you mentioned this year, 8 innings on April 28th at USF.
Julks comes in, couple of fly ball outs. He's 0 for 2. We figured this would definitely be a competitive game, and I mean, the scoreboard nearly mirrors each other. 4-7-1 for Connecticut, 4-7 and 2 errors for Houston. Let's see if this can stay competitive all the way through 9. Tim Cate ahead in the count. No call by the home plate umpire, must have missed, and Julks remains alive, count even at 2.
Been in the air twice so far today, trying to line one up.
Julks, one of 4 players in the starting lineup today, batting over 300. Gets into this one and smashes it into left center field. Going back at center field and watching it go is Keith Kruger. A home run, and Houston's taking the lead 5-4. Corey Julks logs on and gets gone. His 6th home run of the year.
36 RBI, wanted to line it up. He did just that. Got the barrel of the bat out, able to extend the arm and pokes it out to left center field. And they pass off the hammer.
Boy, that pitch was low in the zone, and he went down and got it. Kruger can only watch it go onto the berm here at Spectrum Field.
Still waiting for the good practical joke for the Houston Cougars with that hammer. They've got kind of the replica Thor hammer you just saw there. Sure, it's plastic or something like that, but would love to see somebody sneak some sand into it.
2nd home run of the ball game for the Cougars. Of course, the big home run by Bilamovich in the 3rd. Joe Davis, a pair of singles, stands in against Cate. Houston showing a lot of resolve in this game. That home run by Julks puts them up 5-4. They have scored in every inning, the 2nd, the 3rd, and the 5th. Let's see Julks get the hammer from Bilamovich. There it is. No lightning bolt from the sky, thankfully.
Cannot wait till someone loads that thing up. Someone tries to pick it up off the ground.
Maybe like just fill it with ball bearings or sand.
I believe we're sitting at 19 home runs now here in Game 7 of the tournament.
Joe Davis looks at the 2-2, and he is struck out looking. Retired for the first time today. The 4th punch out for Tim Cate.
I think he knew it as soon as it was coming over. I think he knew it before it got there. He was trying to sit something on the inside, and he had that look in his face. Yeah, that's the look before it even gets there. It's like breaking ball. I'm caught.
See ya. Cooper Coldiron scheduled to come to the plate. Number 4 stands in. He struck out and reached on a fielder's choice. 1 out in the inning, nobody on. 91 miles an hour by Kate. Approaching 90 pitches. And a right-hander continues to warm in the pen just over the left field wall. Kate overthrows that one a little bit. It's low. Saw number 15, Ryan Radu, warming. And he is still up in the bullpen.
So we're due for UConn. We've seen Polito and Herdsman for Houston.
Swings at this one. It could stay in play, giving chase the first baseman Winkle. That one will find the chairbacks.
Well, there is a very slow race to get that foul ball.
Coldiron 0 for 2 today. Stands back in. Tim Kate trying to shake off that home run by Corey Julks.
And Coldiron was out for a majority of the season, became eligible to play May 12th at Tulane. Again, has started every game at shortstop since then. So that's why you see him starting. His number's not big. Still kind of hard to get a feel for him, but at 241, no homers, 3 driven in so far. Has a double on the season.
Little late on the fastball, fouls it back into the screen.
Obviously enough talent, though, that Todd Whitting this late in the year is going to make him an everyday starter.
He went 2 for 4 against Memphis, had a pair of singles, a stolen base, and scored a run. He also had an RBI back in that fateful 8th inning that pulled the Cougars ahead and got them into the winner's bracket. Payoff pitch, hit a long way, but it's going to go foul down the left field line. That one will find the shortstop Snacks and Bullpen Grill.
And a Cougar fan on the way for the foul ball.
Tim Kate takes a deep breath and delivers. That one's high. A 1-out walk, and Kate sees a man trot down to first. That's the 3rd free pass of the ball game given up by Kate, and that'll bring up Triolo.
Walked one in the first. They were stranded. Didn't get away with the walk an inning ago after the 2-run triple by Shiner.
Nice
that ended the inning. I was going to say, only in Clearwater in a conference tournament that includes a Texas school, you get to see someone running around in boots.
Jim Penders calls time, and he's going to walk out. This could be the end of the day for Tim Kate, who has surrendered a 1-run lead here. And I believe Ryan Radu will be the new pitcher coming into the ballgame. Kate, in his sophomore year, has been so good in 2017. A pat on the butt from Coach Penders, and we'll have a pitching change. We'll step away from the action here at the American Baseball Championships. Tell you more about the redshirt senior who survived cancer to come back this year. More on him when we return with Houston leading 5-4.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
This is a classroom.
This is a lab.
This is a study break.
This is family.
This is our backyard.
This is UConn.
Houston with the lead. They're looking for more, and Ryan Radu into the game to pitch for Connecticut.
Well, again, as Garrett told you earlier ago, a cancer survivor found out a year and a half ago, but has fallen all the way back. He's been very solid this year for Jim Penners. Leads the team with 23 outings, 35 strikeouts, 31 innings. He pitched UConn out of a bases-loaded jam when he came back March 26 against Seton Hall in the 7th. That preserved that 4-0 win. Notched a win April 2nd. Followed up with his first career save April 3rd. He's pitched twice against Houston this year. May 6th, 1 inning, 1 hit, a run that was earned, a walk, no strikeouts. Then the next day on the 7th, 1/3 of an inning, he got the 1 out and got out of the jam.
Here in the bottom of the 6th, Houston has homered, struck out, and walked. That'll bring up Jared Triolo, the right fielder. He'll be the first batter to face Ryan Radu. Runner on first base and 1 out. First pitch swinging into the outfield. Keith Kruger trying to come in, and he gets under it. 1 pitch, 1 out for Radu.
The efficiency you want, a 1 pitch out. That'll bring up Lockhart now with a pair of hits. This is the guy you got to get around. Just got up under it. A nice jump by Kruger to haul that in.
Radu with great size on the hill. 6'5", 217-pounder from Appleton, Wisconsin. Now he'll face Lyle Lockhart. Lockhart, the first baseman, stepping in with a man on first. They've got to hold him on, so a big hole if he wants to shoot it through on the right side. Runner stunts at first base, and that'll draw a pitch outside by Radu. Ryan was a freshman in 2013, and he was part of the UConn team that captured the final Big East title here in Clearwater. UConn was the 8th seed that year, and of course he was part of the squad last year that won the tournament title. Checks the runner and deals. A little bit low, 90 miles an hour.
One of the big reasons for Houston's success today, the bottom third of the order between Triolo, Lockhart, and Bilomovic. They've been on 5 out of 10 times today. Home run, a pair of doubles, a walk, and a fielder's choice.
Triolo takes it outside. Another arm up in the pen, and guess who is on deck? Bilomovic, who hit the home run in the 3rd. Radu would serve himself and his team well if he can throw some strikes here. Lockhart's up 3-0 in the count and looks at called strike 1.
Well, big plate appearance, and not just for getting Bilomovic to the plate because he's hit a home run and had a walk. If you get Bilomovic to the plate, you've also rolled that order over for at least the 7th inning to get Wong, Hollison, Shiner back to the plate.
The 3-1, and he's a little bit late. 88 miles an hour on the gun. Radu might be able to eat up some innings for the Huskies if he continues to throw strikes. There is another right-hander up in the pen, but several times this year he's gone 2 2/3 of relief. They won't hold the runner on, and he'll take off. This one's a shallow dropper into center field. They'll hold the runner at third base. Motoring all the way around was Cooper Coldiron, and a 2-out single for Lyle Lockhart.
That's going to move the average up. Came in at just 247 today, but 3 for 3. That'll get him well over 250. Comes down and in on him, and just got enough of it to send it into center field. Now that gets Bilomovic up. So at the worst, even if they retire Bilomovic, they have the top of the order rotated around for the 7th.
1 for 1 today with the home run and the walk. He also scored a run in the 5th. Radu really has to bear down here. Radu with 35 strikeouts in 32 innings pitched coming in. Bilomovic looks on. Swings at this one. Wynn might keep this one in play. Opportunity for Susi to make the catch. And he does, falling into his dugout. The 3rd out of the inning. 2 left on for the Houston Cougars. but they get a home run by Corey Julks and take a 1-run lead as we're 6 complete. Top of the 7th as Julks goes yard into left center field. We're half an inning from stretch time here in Clearwater. Stay with us. You're watching the American Digital Network.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
This is a classroom.
This is a lab.
This is a study break.
This is family.
This is our backyard.
This is UConn.
UConn Huskies will come to the plate trailing by 1 in the top of the 7th inning. Take a look at that last play, Jeff. The wind blew this thing back into play in foul territory, and good for the Huskies.
Well, we sit a little bit on the first base side behind home plate, and you could see it behind, not fully behind the dugout, but then blew back, and he did a nice job, established position on the edge of the dugout, found his perimeter, and Susie just waited for the ball to come back to him.
Mitch Ullum has scattered 7 hits, allowed 4 runs. His defense has committed 2 errors behind him. The next pitch here to Keith Kruger will be his 100th.
For Susie as well, it's always a little bit of help, too, that you know it's your teammates are going to help catch you there, and you're not in the visitor's dugout.
Got a hand there from his head coach, Jim Penders. The 1-0. A little bit off the plate, 88 miles an hour by Ullum.
Get Ullum twice in his career has gone 9 innings. He's had an 8-inning performance this season, a season high against USF. Most pitches was in the USF game. He threw 110 pitches in that game. He's coming up on that one and 6 more.
There's a strike from the home plate umpire. Ullum from Sweeney, Texas. Out of Houston's 31 roster players, 28 hail from the state of Texas. This one's chapped. Big run coming up. And the throw to first not in time from Cold Iron. An infield single by Keith Kruger.
Second hit of the day for Keith Kruger after a ground out in the 5th. He singled in the 3rd. Again here in the 7th. Just chopped it really high. Cold Iron did all he could to get there, but just too much speed down the base paths.
Tying run on base now, and he got there just in time, ran out of his helmet. That'll be the top of the order, and John Topa. Topa will come to the plate. 9 doubles on the year. Today's 1 for 3 with a single.
Kruger with 3 steals, but you've got to be careful again. It's Wong who's been good behind the plate, throwing out 2 runners in this game.
Topa squaring to bunt, wants to sack him over. They'll throw over to first base instead. Houston with a left-hander who's got kind of a sidearm motion warming up in the pen. Looks like a right-hander getting hot as well. Kruger, the center fielder with good speed, and he almost airmailed that to the backstop.
They were looking for a pitch out and almost got out to the backstop. But again, who they have out there is Herdsman, is the left-hander who comes a little bit from the side. The right-hander again is Polito.
Squares to bunt, right side, fielded by Ullum. That'll move the runner over to second, and a sacrifice completed by John Topa. Nice job there by the sophomore left fielder. That'll put a runner in scoring position for the 2-hole Anthony Prado.
Topa's 3rd sacrifice, the 42nd of the year for the Huskies. Did a nice job, just put it where you need to. Brought him far enough off the mound, he would have no shot at second base.
First sacrifice bunt laid down today successfully by the Huskies. Houston has a pair. Prado stands in. He's reached twice today, once on an error. He singled back in the first.
Said earlier this game would come down to the last 3 innings, and here we sit in the 7th, just a 1-run contest.
Hits this one hard on the ground. It'll find its way into center field. Penders will wave him around from third base, and scoring from second is Keith Kruger. We're knotted up at 5 apiece. RBI single by Anthony Prado.
All squared with 3 innings to go. He put it right down the middle. A little bit of tail at the belt, but enough to drill it through the infield. They would have had no chance at the plate as a throw came into second. And now here comes the switch, and Olam, over 100 pitches, is 2 off his season high. Looks like his day is done.
Houston was able to score 1 run in the bottom of the 6th. That was a solo shot by Corey Julks, and then UConn has equalized it here in the top of the 7th with that run coming. Herdsman will be the new pitcher into the ball game. We'll talk about him when he comes through the fence on the other side of this break. Can UConn score some more here in the top of the 7th? But we take our 7th inning stretch. You're watching the American Digital Network.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
This is a classroom.
This is a lab.
This is a study break.
This is family.
This is our backyard.
This is UConn.
Six and 1/3 innings pitched by the starter Mitch Olam. He'll give way to Brayson Herdsman, a 6'3", 200-pound southpaw.
He's been good, a freshman out of St. George, Utah, and Desert Hills High School. 3-2 in 15 outings, 3 starts, a 3.77 ERA, 28 2/3 of an inning, 23 hits, 17 runs, 12 earned, 9 walks, 25 strikeouts, a 2.17 average against a wild pitch. He has hit 6 batters. He faced UConn once on May 7th. No decision in relief. He got 1 inning. No walks, no hits, no runs. He struck out 1, only threw 8 pitches in that outing.
UConn been very successful in their last 9 batters. 5 have gotten on base, 4 by singles, another with a walk. Bases second and third clear. There's a man on first, and coming up to the plate will be Zach Susi.
We'll see who gets the key hit late in the ball game. It was Grayson Padgett for Houston on day 1. It was Willie Yon with a grand slam for the Huskies also on day 1 against the Bearcats.
Herdsman is making his second appearance against Connecticut this year. Back on May 7th, he did not factor in the decision in relief. He threw an inning of scoreless, hitless ball with 1 strikeout. He's, of course, got the scouting report from his coaches going into this weekend. And he is ready to face Zach Susi. Susi today 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Great opportunity for him to pull one through the right side with a man on first.
Maybe a freshman, but he's got senior size at 6'3" and 200 pounds. A really good frame.
That first pitch clocked at 88 miles an hour. Checks the runner at first, the 1-0. Chops that one at the plate. Herdsman got 2 wins at the beginning of the year. His first 2 appearances, one against Wake Forest, the other against Illinois. And then he had to wait through about 10 decisions until he got a win on May 9th against Rice, throwing an inning and 2 of relief. Herdsman stares into Wong. He'll go to first instead.
Herdsman would love the double play here. They've turned 44, including the double play earlier in this ball game.
Susie standing in the back of the box. A one-hopper. This could be 2 from first to second. In time, the tag is applied, and that's the end of the inning. Brayson Herdsman comes in and erases the men on the base paths, and we stay knotted up at 5 apiece. Connecticut with 1 run on 2 hits. The RBI single by Prado knots us up at 5 apiece.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
This is a classroom.
This is a lab.
This is a study break.
This is family.
This is our backyard.
This is UConn.
We're done with the 7th inning stretch. Houston coming to the plate, trailing. We're tied up at 5 apiece. Bottom of the 7th. Brian Radu back out on the hill for the UConn Huskies. Radu, part of last year's club that won the tournament title here in Clearwater. They were able to hoist the trophy against these Houston Cougars. Houston had gone into the championship game undefeated, but it's winner take all with that format. And you see the Huskies winning their 2nd tournament title in Clearwater. Radu, part of the team in 13 and 16 that won postseason titles here in the Tampa Bay area. How impressive would it be if they could get a win here today and continue their hot performance to come away with 3 rings in your career? Well, this one's fouled back.
They were able to bring their day 1 starter back in that tournament. Remember, they had to play 2 games on Saturday. Memphis boat raced them in that first game, and then they shut the Tigers down in a 2-0 shutout in game 2 of those semifinals.
Really showed a lot of backbone. Came in there after losing a game and got the win. This one's fouled back, and it goes off the home plate umpire, Mark Ewell. He's going to have his contemporaries come down from first and third and check him out. Houston's trainer's going to head out there, too. Both trainers will. I didn't see on the pitch where that hit him off the foul tip. He's certainly in pain.
Well, he went down immediately. He made the turn right off the chest protector, maybe the right shoulder.
Never know if that caught part of the collarbone.
Yeah, that's what they're checking, the right arm, upper right arm.
Hope everything's okay.
They're checking that big bone that goes from the shoulder to the elbow there to see if there's any damage done. And I'm sure he doesn't have a lot of feeling in it right now. I'm going to check the bicep.
Ricochet off the bat,
right
off the bicep. Yeah. Great catch by our video board crew.
So right now, it probably just doesn't feel a lot in the arm.
It's not like you can do a lot as an umpire to try and come back from being hit by a ball. You're not going to run if it hits you in the arm. You're not going to try and throw a pitch.
They could let you get the strike call a couple times. Okay, I'm good. Give us a safe call and an out call.
He'll get a hearty hand from the fans here in Clearwater, and he'll stay behind the plate.
Still see him clenching that right hand. Just got a little feeling in it.
Well, Ryan Radu will face the top of the order, and Connor Wong. He is ahead in the count, 0-2. He is up on that hill ready to work. Radu won't offer, Wong won't offer at that one.
Wong a walk in the first, a single in the third inning.
Breaking ball just got a piece of it. You could tell from our elevated position what was coming once it left his hand. Wong was able to pick it up and just got a piece of it.
Well, if Wong can get on for a third time and set the table, Shiner's going to hit. He's the third hitter in the order this inning, and then Julks, who homered an inning ago, would be your fourth.
Lifts this one in the air late on the fastball, 92 miles an hour. Settling under it at the line, and this one drops out of his glove. Tough play there by Isaac Feldstein. And they'll have a runner in scoring position.
That one just in the blind spot in the right field corner. Let's get a better look at it. He had it tracked down. I don't know at the last second if he got spooked by the wall or the sun, but right on the line, in and out of the glove.
That'll be the second error of the game for the UConn Huskies staff.
He was running out of room, but he had slowed his pace down. So I'm not sure if once he looked back at the last second, he had the sunglasses on.
Just the third error all year on Feldstein out there in right field. And now Connor Hollis has a man in scoring position. If you're Houston, you really want to take advantage here. With the heart of your order up, nobody out, and we're getting late in this ball game.
Again, waiting to see. It was Paget for Houston and Jan for the Huskies that had the hits on Tuesday late in the game.
Not often that you call it an E9 in the scorebook, but that was the case. And Hollis up to the plate now. He's twice laid down a sacrifice bunt. Flew out in the fifth. Trying to make contact with his first hit of the game against Ryan Radu.
Not just an error, a two-base error, so it puts the man in scoring position. And they're trying to push him over to third base and give Shiner and Julks a chance.
Count evens now after that pitch. 2-2. Radu takes a big breath. Remember, he missed all of last season. Had to redshirt due to cancer. Back out here on the hill now. Made 24 appearances and is 2-2 on the season as a redshirt senior. Swing and a miss. Can't catch up with a fastball there. Hollis looking at 2-1. Corner infielders in on the grass. Trying to slow down the runner at second base. Connor Wong. This one's fouled out of here, first base side.
He did show bunt on the second pitch. He's not going to bunt now with 2 strikes in the count. That'll put the corners back in Jan and Winkle.
It'd be interesting after the game to go and talk with Radu, because I'm sure he has 2 conference tournament championship rings. In 2013, though, he made just 2 appearances and threw 2 1/3 innings pitched. You wouldn't think he would have been on the traveling staff here unless he paid his own way. In 2014, he made 12 appearances, 14 innings pitched. He went 1-1 as a junior in 2015. ready to work here against Hollis, who squares to bunt, and he'll walk off the hill.
I'm going to be interested to see if they trust Hollis enough to bunt with 2 strikes or if he's just trying to get the infielders moving around.
Jan comes in at third, and of course Winkle in on the grass at first. Radu, he sees something that came on the field.
No, he's trying to kick some of the dirt out in front of the rubber and just caught a big hunk of clay. And I think he just wanted to clear the field.
Big dirt clod that he threw off to the third base side.
Replace your divots.
We are in the Florida area. Great time to come in, catch some baseball, and when your team's not playing, go hit the links. Innisbrook right down the road. Squares to bunt again, the 2-2. Drops it successfully. Radu will field. Fires to third, and it's out of Jan's glove. Jan blocks the runner. He'll come home to score without a throw, and Houston's gone back on top, 6-5. Radu's throw over to third base, just a little off target, and Houston takes the lead.
That is some guts, not only by Connor Hollis, but Todd winning 2-strike bunt. He played it perfectly. Got it off the fat part of the barrel, and just a missed throw by Radu. He got tied up, nothing intentional there, but they arrived at the same time at a hop over Jan. He was going to be allowed to score regardless, but Wong will make his way to second. So a fielder's choice for Hollis in the air allows Wong to come in and score.
Wong reached on the air, scores his first run today, and now Hollis standing on second for the player of the year. He squares to bunt and brings everybody in. The throwdown won't be in time. It kind of ricochets off of the shortstop, Prado. Keeps it in front of him, though. Shiner blasted the ball and missed a home run in right center field by just a couple of feet in his last at bat. Tried to stretch it into an inside the park home run and was gassed at the plate. He still picked up 2 RBIs, though. Count is 1-1, even though the scoreboard previously said full count. Schreiner struck out in the first, flew out in the third, and again that 2 RBI extra base hit in the 5th inning. Radu's going to call time, step off the hill, walk the runner back. 2 hits in this tournament for the player of the year, both of them for extra bases.
They got around in the first 2 times, and again, he burned him with a triple in the 5th.
Sitting in the back of the box, won't offer at that one. Shiner came in hitting .336. He's appeared in every game but one. Started every game but one. 16 doubles now, 3 triples, 16 homers. The leading RBI producer in the conference. Radu comes set. And that one is called strike 2.
We've got him 2-2. It won't get any easier. Corey Julks on deck had the leadoff home run an inning ago, as Julks blasted his 6th of the season. Good pitch. You got him just under the palms of the hand.
Radu turned 23 years old earlier this month, the oldest player on the Husky team. The redshirt senior comes set. Struck out the player of the year in Jake Shiner. A fastball, 91 miles an hour.
They needed that out really bad. That's the first out of the inning. So Julks and Davis come to the plate. They're not out of the woods yet, but that was a big out.
Radu gets the strikeout. The 5th K for the UConn pitching staff today, and Corey Julks will come up, and as Jeff said, dangerous bat. He went yard in his last plate appearance. There's Hollis off second base. Radu's fastball right where it was for Shiner. Strike 1.
Joe Davis on deck, a big home run threat. He's got 2 singles today. Cold Iron 2 batters away. He's been on once. He's actually been on twice, a fielder's choice and a walk.
His 25th pitch, foul down the line. That was a big rip by Jolks, but he couldn't straighten it out. Jolks with a huge bomb went into left center field, and this one clears the fence onto the berm.
Was not a bad pitch at the knees. Just went down after it. And with the next member of the Cougars to take the hammer to the dugout.
That put them up 5-4 at the time. UConn was able to even it up at 5 apiece. Back-to-back strikeouts, and Corey Jolks doesn't like the call. Radu, though, stalks back up the hill.
Give credit to Radu. It started the inning with a 2-base error that came in to score on the error by Radu. Now back-to-back strikeouts and got him right there. And again, Jolks will make his way back to the dugout. Now he's 1 out away from doing some big damage control. They will go ahead and walk Joe Davis.
That one comes out of his hand a little funky.
Again, a reason I do not like the rule that some of the lower levels of pro ball are playing around with, just the intentional pass without having to throw the ball. You know, another thing that eliminates that we were talking about the other day, a wild pitch or grooving one accidentally for a home run, that people don't realize is the catcher's balk. The catcher comes out of that catcher's box too early. It's a call I've never seen live. I know it exists. You'll see it once every time Haley's Comet comes by, but it's still a rule.
4th offering, and they'll give the free pass to Joe Davis. The sophomore will trot down to first. Now 2 on. Houston already has scored 1 run in the inning. Looking for a little bit more.
Got a right-hander hanging out in the UConn bullpen. Should be loose by now. Should be ready to go. Jim Penders wants to tell him to get up and start throwing.
Joe Davis, 18th walk of the year.
Houston with a pair in the bullpen as well.
Hollis on second, Davis on first, and Cooper Cold Iron comes to the plate. He was walked in his last at bat.
Struck out in a fielder's choice along with that walk today.
Radu hears the UConn faithful behind him, calling for him to get out of this inning with 2 Cougars on behind him.
He's in a good position now ahead 0-2. He could waste 1, maybe 2 pitches. And maybe try to jam Cold Iron on the inside again. Cold Iron only playing in his 9th game of the year.
240 hitter. Fastball on the ground. It's playable for Hill. Over to second in time. 2 stranded, but the Cougars come away and put a run on the board to go ahead 6-5. We're 7 complete, headed to the 8th here on the American Digital Network. Stay with us. Stay out of our way.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
We welcome you back in. Fans piling in for this game and the nightcap coming up. USF and East Carolina. The 3 seed versus the 8 seed in a winner's bracket matchup. A non-elimination game. You can catch it on the American Digital Network. The Houston Cougar fans have to be happy. Their team went back on top in the bottom of the 7th. They lead it by a run, 6-5, over last year's tournament champion Huskies.
Should be a really nice crowd, as you mentioned, for that USF game. You've got a big baseball school in East Carolina that's in the Super Regionals, and then USF trying to win the tournament this year. They are in good shape for an NCAA. Potentially, if they make it to Sunday, maybe even hosting if they can win this tournament. And also, the biggest thing is they're the closest school in the league just across the bridge over in Tampa.
Brayson Herdsman back out for his second inning of relief. He induced a double play, a non-conventional double play, 3-4, and got them out of the inning.
And that's the toughest one to make. Lockhart, when he tags the bag, has to yell tag. Then it becomes not a force out.
Here's a one-hopper. Ball is still live. Up and over to first like it was nothing. A standout play by Cooper Coldiron.
That was a hard hit ball. That was a reaction play by Coldiron. He didn't even get to dive fully. He kind of smothered up near the chest, lunging forward, and knew that he had no time to try to stand up. Throws from the knee, and give credit to Lockhart for a nice stretch.
That'll bring up Willie Yon, who could tie this ball game up in a hurry. Herdsman's got to be careful here. Yon watches the first pitch. 4 RBIs on the grand slam 2 days ago. Yon in today's game singled in the second. He's been out twice since, 1 for 3. Even in the count, 1-1. Yon stares in against the 6'3" left-hander. He'll offer at that one, hits it hard on the ground to second. Picked up quick by Connor Hollis. 2 easy outs to get things going here in the 8th inning.
Hard hit ground ball to short by Felty. Now a routine grounder by Yon over to the right side. And he's done a nice job to keep him on the ground.
Today's designated hitter, number 9, Alex Lefebvre, comes to the plate with 2 out and nobody on. Lefebvre retired by a Gold Star play at third base by Jake Shiner in his first at-bat. He singled in the 6th into right center field. First pitch by Herdsman. Out of the zone. We talked about the players that Houston has. If they can make the winner's bracket game and play on Saturday, they need to be beaten twice not to make the tournament title. They've still got Trey Cumbie and John King, 2 outstanding starters to their credit. There's a swing and a miss by Lefebvre. UConn still has Fiole and Montgomery. Both those guys have combined for 13 wins on the year. A couple other starters, of course, like Rosamondo, who's played in some midweek games, could come in and help get them through to Sunday. Fiole, one of those players flirting with being all conference. Really looked good, 7-3 on the year with a 3.1 ERA. That'll even the count 2-2 on the home run hack by Alex Lefebvre. Outside, couldn't get his bat to it. That'll run our count full. Herdsman, who got 2 quick groundouts in the infield, now has worked it full against Lefebvre.
Key out here, if you can retire Lefebvre, you have 7, 8, and 9 to deal with in the 9th, and may not have to see the top of the order.
Just protecting there. Slices it foul down the first base side. Lefebvre hitting in the 6th hole. The senior came in hitting just under 260. Herdsman comes set and delivers. It's high, and he walked him with 2 outs. Both these teams just showing steely resolve. 4 lead changes in the game. They continue to put runners on with 2 outs, and I believe we'll see a pinch runner. That could be P.J. Poulin, number 19, I believe, who's come into the ball game.
Saw Poulin in the game the other day, so the second time we've seen him out.
Grayson Herdsman with the meeting at the mound. And the change has been made. Herdsman in his second inning of relief will head back. Houston still with the 6-5 lead. A new pitcher coming into the ballgame for the Cougars, who have the one-run lead here in the top of the 8th. We'll tell you about the new pitcher coming in when we return.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
This is a classroom.
This is a lab.
This is a study break.
This is family.
This is our backyard.
This is UConn.
Sophomore left-hander comes into the ball game for the Houston Cougars, who lead it 6-5. It's number 47, Aaron Fletcher.
2-1 in 18 relief outings, a 2.02 ERA. He leads the team with 7 saves, 35 2/3 of an inning. 31 hits, 10 runs, 8 earned, 9 walks against 33 strikeouts this year for Fletcher. 235 average against the wild pitch and 2 hit batters. And again, it is Aaron Fletcher, the reliever and their closer.
Fletcher, 6 foot, 220 pounds. He's one of 8 sophomores on the club. You combine that with 16 freshmen for Coach Todd Whitting. And again, they have just done such a fantastic job. Ended up winning the regular season championship. Pinch hitter coming into the ball game for the UConn Huskies. It'll be Jack Lambrick, the freshman. He's got a runner on first base who represents the tying run.
Poulin, the runner at first, the starting pitcher against Memphis. The 5th time he's come out on an offensive assignment, whether playing a position or pinch running this year.
So Houston brings in the left-hander. He'll be able to keep a close eye on the runner at first, and Jim Penders will bring up a right-handed bat. Lambrick on the year, hitting .233. This is the 15th game he's appeared in.
Pair of doubles and 1 triple on the year for Lambrick, who hits .233, 10 for 43.
Count now 1-1. That last pitch, 89 miles an hour. P.J. Poulin, pinch running at first base. We saw him pitch 2 days ago. And Fletcher is 1 strike from getting out of the inning. Connecticut's done a great job today of making contact. They've only struck out 3 times. 5 runs on 9 hits for the Huskies. Fletcher deals. Called strike 3. 4th strikeout of the game, and Fletcher does his job. UConn set down without scoring in the 8th inning. The Huskies are down to their final 3 outs unless Houston will come back and put even more on the board in the bottom of the 8th. We'll be back after this on the American Digital Network.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
Purple and gold in the park. East Carolina tonight's matchup against the USF Bulls. And I believe they'll be the home team if they're sitting on that side. An unbelievable whipping that they put on #1 seed UCF, 14-3 in their tournament opener.
They got to be a very confident team. You know, they were very good last year. Once they got out of the conference tournament, it was kind of odd going 0-2 in the tournament, then making the run to the Super Regionals. They've got enough experience. Injury-plagued season, but can they put it together for 1 week?
Here's the third inning of relief, started off by Ryan Radu. Fastball, 91 miles an hour, and that's strike one.
Radu needs to get through his third inning to give his team a chance. It's going to be Hill, Kruger, and Topa. 8, 9, and 1 due up for the Huskies in the top of the ninth.
Jared Triolo here, the right fielder, stands in. He's even in the count, 1-1. Reached on a fielder's choice. He also hit into a double play. This one backs him off the plate a little bit, 88.
Triolo's put the ball in play every time he's been to the plate. No, it's the show for it.
There's called strike two.
And four-year letter winner at Lake Travis High School, the district most valuable player.
Radu runs it full. Since coming in relief of the starter Tim Cade, he's only given up one single. He struck out 2. Also gave up an intentional pass. This time, though, he loses control on Triolo, who works the walk to start off the inning.
Bottom 2 in your order, I would usually say you're going to bunt here, but wow, Lockhart today has been on fire. 3 for 3, a pair of doubles. They may let him swing away. Triolo, by the way, 6 for 9 on stolen bases, and Houston's come away with 2 steals on Susie this afternoon.
Ryan Radu takes a deep breath. A right-hander in the bullpen behind him just in case. Squares to bunt. That's a high chopper to Radu. He'll go to first base all the way, and the catch is made by the second baseman. First out of the inning.
Pushes to the third. He got a high enough bounce off that hard pan. He had nowhere to go, and a nice little stretch across the bag by Winkle.
Big home run hitter from earlier back in the third inning. Tyler Bilamovich dropped one over the left field wall. He's also been walked. Scored 2 runs today. Fastball 91, called strike 1.
His first, the third of this game, the 7th of the day, which brings us to 20 in the tournament.
Only in game 7, we're averaging almost 3 home runs a game in this tournament. Radu comes set. The 0-1. Just misses with another fastball. Same speed. With the win, Houston would advance to the semifinals for the 4th year in a row here at the American. Runner was going. Triolo will trot back to second on the foul ball. Bilamovich got a pitch to hit. Got the barrel up on this one. Just crept over the wall into the bullpen. See the little Kirk Gibson hand extended. Brings me back to '88 in the Dodgers. That got him back in the ball game. Radu ahead in the count, 1-2. He'll waste a pitch right here, or he could go right after him. Breaking ball finishes too high.
If they make that semifinal game, if they win here today and get the day off, they will play the first semifinal game of the day. That'll be the 10 Eastern, 9 Central game on Saturday morning. And if necessary, game at 4:30.
This one's hit into the right center gap. It could drop. It's going a long way. Laying out for it and not making the catch is Kruger. It'll get to the wall. 1 run will score. Houston's lead swells 7-5. An RBI double by Tyler Bielamovich, his second extra base hit of the game.
What a day by the freshman left fielder, his first career home run. That's his third double. He's got 2 RBI, and both hits have been huge in this ball game. Took it the opposite way. A nice effort by Kruger, laying out just a bit out of his reach. And Triello scores easily. Bielamovich jogs into second base.
Well, that leadoff walk given up to Triolo comes around to hurt the Huskies, who now trail by 2. Jim Penders will call time. He does have a right-hander up in his pen. We'll see if the change will be made. If the head man's walking out there, that's usually the case. And the redshirt senior who did everything he could today will go back to the dugout. Ryan Radu with a couple of strikeouts. A new pitcher will come into the ball game for the Huskies, the second reliever of the game. We'll tell you a little bit more about C.J. Dandino when we return with Houston up by 2.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
This is a classroom.
This is a lab.
This is a study break.
This is family.
This is our backyard.
This is UConn.
UConn has seen 2 pitchers chased by the Houston offense today. The new one in the ballgame is number 39, C.J. Dandino.
C.J. Dandino this year, 14 outings for the sophomore, a 2-0 record, no saves on the year. He's got to hold Houston here this inning if they want to have a chance. They find themselves down now by 2 runs. I believe it's going to be 8-9-1 in the order coming up for the Huskies once we get to the top half of the ninth.
Houston has been so good in this tournament the last 2 games of scoring late in the ball games. Today they've scored in 6 of 8 innings out there on offense, and that's a headache for UConn and their pitching staff.
Well, I told you before the game started, this game's going to come down to the last 3 innings. It was tied up by UConn at 5-all in the top half of the 7th. Some clutch hits. Unfortunately, a big error is playing big in this game right now by Feldstein in right field. That 2-base error allowed that go-ahead run to score.
Big spot for Dandino. If he can get a couple of outs, get them to leave some runners on base, UConn puts themselves in position, but they've only got 3 outs to score 2 runs and tie this one up.
Good, close one. This is a game we could see these teams play before it's all said and done 3 times. If they meet again on Saturday, very easily could force that if necessary game, regardless of who comes out the winner in this ball game.
Dandino, a redshirt sophomore, 6 foot, 202 pounds, the only player on the team that hails from LaSalle High School out of Rhode Island. Now the top of the order, and Connor Wong will come to the plate with the man on second. Wong swings at the first pitch he sees. Coming in is Topa and left. He'll settle under it and get a much needed out for Connecticut.
Try to be aggressive, just got up under it.
So Dandino, 1 pitch, 1 out.
Now Connor Hollis looking for his first hit of the day. Want to get Hollis here, you got Shiner, Julks, and Davis right behind him, so you don't want to put them up there with one more opportunity.
Bilamovic standing off second base after that RBI double. Fouled back into the screen. Dandino did not face Houston in the regular season. Made double-digit appearances. The last game he got in was May 16th against Rhode Island. The 0-1. Hollis doesn't offer at that, and he's quickly behind in the count. Dandino's only appearance this year in American play was at UCF. He threw a third of an inning of relief. He gave up 2 hits, 1 run. It was earned. Gave up a walk as well. He did not factor in the decision. Hollis has to hang tough here. They set up on the outside corner. Can't get his bat on it. A strikeout for C.J. Dandino. 1 run comes across to score on the RBI double by Tyler Bilamovic. Houston is 3 outs from advancing to the semifinals for the 4th year in a row. Will got the 9th inning on deck when we return here on the American Digital Network.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
This is a classroom.
This is a lab.
This is a study break.
This is family.
This is our backyard.
This is UConn.
The Houston Cougars 29-1 this year when leading after the 7th inning. You see the fans there at Frenchie's taking in a beautiful game at this ballpark. A big part of their success for the Cougars, winning games late, has been Aaron Fletcher. 7 saves on the year for the sophomore. The lefty will go back up on the hill, and it looks like he'll face the bottom of the order for Connecticut. We'll see if there are pinch hitters involved or not.
Can't teach experience, and again, as you mentioned, they have the experience. They know what it's like to get to that championship game in a lot of different ways, whether it's running through the semifinals undefeated, have to fight their way back through the losers bracket. They've been there 3 years in a row.
Aaron Hill will step in, the 8-hole hitter. 0 for 3 today, 2 flyouts and a ground out. First pitch to Hill, squares to bunt, tries to catch him napping. It'll be foul.
Well, if UConn doesn't come back here, it's going to be a rematch of the Tigers tomorrow. And they'll start the day off on Elimination Friday at 11 Eastern, 10 Central.
This one's hit on the ground by Hill, left side. Long throw from the hole. Hill's going to beat it out over at first. A leadoff single for the Huskies. And now the tying run will come to the plate in the bottom of the order. Moriarty will be your pinch hitter. Connor Moriarty, a freshman, coming in the place of Keith Kruger, who singled twice today.
Moriarty, 224 this year, 43 games, 37 starts, 9 doubles, a pair of home runs. He's got the pop. He could get this thing tied up.
Fletcher takes a look at Hill. Sends a 90-mile-an-hour fastball to the plate. Fletcher comes set. Won't offer at that one.
At 2-0 now, he can start to sit on one.
Connor Moriarty, a freshman, standing 5'10", 184 out of West Springfield, Mass. Inside, and he won't wear it. Instead, it'll be ball 3.
He should be taking all the way here. It'll flip it back to the top of the order if he draws the walk. Topa, Prado, Susie, potentially Feldstein. Feldstein again already homered in the 3rd inning.
Big pitch for Fletcher. Moriarty was taking all the way. Strike 1.
Headers count at 3-1. Likely we'll get another one.
Puts this one in the air on the infield. Biting off the sun is Connor Hollis, and the first out of the inning is secure.
He's in position now. A Topa double play would end it.
Topa, though, represents the top of the order. He's been on base once today with a single. He's 1 for 3 with a sacrifice bunt. Fletcher comes set. Inside out swing, and this will find the chairbacks. Big moment for the Connecticut Huskies. They would, of course, have to come back and likely beat Houston twice on Saturday. If they fall here, they'll have to battle back and face Memphis just for the right to beat Houston twice if they'd like to make the championship game.
Leadoff walk proving huge an inning ago as Bielobovich drove in the run that made it a 2-run game. If not, they would have been trying to bunt Hill to second base. But now down 2 runs, they've got to string some hits together.
And down to their final 2 outs. The sophomore left fielder Topa fouls it back to the screen. Fletcher will toe the rubber. He'll throw over to first base. Against Memphis late in the game, Topa had an RBI. He had a pair of runs driven in against the Tigers in their tournament opener. Been a little quiet today at the top of the order. Hasn't hit since that single back in the 3rd. Fletcher's 1-2. 89 miles an hour and outside.
If the Tigers face UConn tomorrow, but UConn who doesn't rally here. UConn took 2 out of 3 in Stores earlier this season in the prior meeting.
That'll run it full.
if the Huskies were to rally. Of course, Houston beating Memphis on opening day has taken 3 out of the 4 they've played this year. So that's what these two teams have to look forward to. One's going to get the day off and play on Saturday morning.
This one's going to be lined into right field. They'll hold up the runner at second base. Aaron Hill, that ball got so quickly onto Triolo, they had to hold him at second, but 2 on and only 1 out. The tying run is on base for the Huskies here in the top of the 9th.
Huskies give themselves a chance now as he just shoots it out to the right side.
You mentioned it earlier, those hits that go opposite field, that can just kind of make a pitching coach a little squirrely. But for Fletcher, I'm sure he'll be able to shake that one off. Now he's got to face Anthony Prado.
Hitting to the backside and getting 2 out RBI are the worst 2 things as a pitcher that you can face.
Prado's been on base 3 times today, a pair of singles, and he reached on an error. Aaron Hill with good speed well off second base. First pitch to Prado. Swinging, and it's fouled, first base side.
Yeah, not a ton of pop as far as home runs. You've got 1 by Prado, 2 by Susi. Then you got Feldstein. He had his 7th of the year back in the 3rd inning. If you can get it to him, you got a chance at the long ball. 9 doubles each by Prado and Susi, though, so they can put it in the alley.
0-1 outside. In last year's tournament, Houston clobbered Cincinnati in their opener 9-1. Then they beat Tulane 5-3. The Green Wave won against UCF, came back to face Houston on Saturday, and the Cougars won it 6-2. They went undefeated into the championship game before falling against Connecticut. Go-ahead run at the plate. Prado offers, comes across, and it's called strike 2. Jim Penders from the third base side, barking a little bit.
At the low outside corner, nearly committed to it.
The Huskies have out-hit the Cougars in this game, but they trail by 2. Prado has to swing at that one. Inside out swing, and that's foul a long way down the right field line. Since Fletcher came in relief of Brayson Herdsman, he has just pounded the zone with fastballs, touching 90 miles an hour, working 88 to 90. He's given up 2 singles in the inning. This one's going to find its way into left field. Penders will wave Hill around. It's a 1-run ball game. An RBI single by Anthony Prado in the top of the 9th.
3rd hit of the day for Prado as he makes it a 1-run contest. Tying run now in scoring position with less than 2 outs, and here's Susi, who will be coming to the plate. He has 9 doubles, looking for his first hit of the day.
Time has been called by Houston. They'll bring their pitching coach out to the hill.
And I don't think they're going to make a move to the bullpen. Fletcher's their closer.
Susi does not have a hit on the day. Actually grounded into a double play in his last at bat.
So they've got in the bullpen right now Fred Villarreal and still Joey Polito, who's been warming up and down for about 4 or 5 innings.
Just a chance to calm Fletcher down. 2 men on in a 1-run ball game. If Connecticut's able to tie it up in the bottom of the 9th, Houston would have 3-4-5 coming to the plate with Jake Shiner, the player of the year, leading things off. First pitch to Susi, and it's called strike 1. Zach hitting .295 on the year in his sophomore season. He's played in every game for Coach Penders. Fletcher gets it by him. Put the brakes on that one to the tune of 79 miles an hour on the changeup.
Really pulled the string on this one. Had him fold way out in front of it.
Susie's really going to have to protect there at the plate. Fletcher ahead in the count, hoping for a hopper up the middle. Might be able to turn two with. Now he's got the signal from Wong. Is ready to deal. The 0-2. Swing and a miss. The Huskies are down to their final out.
77 that time. I think he had it timed it right, but he didn't plan on that ball continuing to tail out away from the left-hander as it did. Just drove away on the soft slider.
Just the fourth strikeout by the Husky offense today, but it comes at an inopportune time. Now Isaac Feldstein comes to the plate. Feldstein, of course, with that huge 3-run home run back in the third. He singled in the sixth. Today, he's 2 for 4. A 1-run ball game, and Fletcher trying to close it out. Feldstein looks at ball 1. The UConn fans that have made the trip here trying to get on Fletcher's case. Make it tougher for him.
You talked about if they get to the bottom of the ninth, they tie it up. Not only Shiner, you got Julks who's homer in the ball game, Davis with a pair of hits, and of course that home run pop. So 3 big guys that could end it in the bottom of the ninth as well.
Tying run on second base. That's John Topa. Prado on first. The 1-0. Feldstein swinging right through it. 86 miles an hour by the southpaw.
Nothing fancy. I'm going to throw it hard. You take a swing at it.
The Cougars just 1 out away from closing this one down. Come off the hill and try and walk Topa back. Big at bat for Feldstein. He's going to take a deep breath, step out of the box, and now settle back in. He's even in the count, 1-1. 6 runs on 12 hits for UConn today, but trailing by 1, they're down to their final out. I think he got a piece of it, but he fouled it back into the mid. Oh, he was so
Just
far
over.
off of that one. Outside part of the bat.
Just a little bit above it. Now is Fletcher going to waste the pitch? He's going to come right at him ahead 1-2. He's got 1 to waste. Sometimes pitchers don't like to call it a waste pitch, a setup pitch.
Fletcher wants to go through the signals again. Runners on second and first for Connecticut. Isaac Feldstein settles in. Can the junior come through for the Huskies? Outside. Count evens at 2.
Well, set him up there.
Fletcher, such a battler up there. You can see why the Huskies are 29-1 when they have a lead after 7 innings. One of the top pitching staffs in the American. Everybody needs a little break here. He'll step off the hill and wipe the sweat off his brow.
Fletcher, I doubt, is going to throw anything outside the zone here. He had a setup pitch, couldn't get him to go after it. Now 2-2.
Puts this one in the air, foul over the third base side. You take a look at that Houston dugout. Everybody up on the rail on the third base side, they are ready to explode out to the mound if Fletcher can close down and get this win. They won't hold the runners on. Fletcher comes set on the hill. Fastball struck him out. Houston wins, and the Cougars are going back to the American semifinals for the 4th year in a row.
Just reared back, got him on the high fastball. And the Cougars will have the day off. And that plays big in this tournament. Fastball, let her high, swings through it with the restructuring of the tournament. This bracket originally, you'd have played back-to-back, then the day off. Win day off, win another day off. They're set up really well for the weekend.
The red and white happy here in Clearwater. After giving up 3 singles in their first 4 batters in the 9th, Fletcher gets back-to-back Ks to close out the Huskies. And Houston wins at 7-6 here. We'll be back with more postgame after this on the American Digital Network.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
This is a classroom.
This is a lab.
This is a study break.
This is family.
This is our backyard.
This is UConn.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
A 1-run victory for the Houston Cougars, 7-6 over the UConn Huskies, and the regular season champions exact just a little bit of revenge for last year's title game victory by the Huskies. Garrett Walbert, Jeff Brightwell will have Kyle Coulter down on the field in just a little bit with the winning coach and the player of the game. What an incredible matchup. Another 1-run victory for Houston. They are now the winningest team in this tournament since 2014 and the inaugural year. They're 11-3 in games here in Clearwater.
Told you it was going to come down to the last 3 innings, and it did. And now Houston, with arguably, you can talk UConn and USF, maybe the best 3 pitching staffs in the league. It's going to be very difficult for someone to beat them twice on Saturday.
What did you see from the closer that came in, Aaron Fletcher? He looked very effective, scattered some singles, but had 2 big punch-outs to finish it.
I think that's typical of any closer. They kind of scare you a little bit, so it's not unusual to put someone on, maybe give up that run to make it close. But when it counted, he stepped up, and as you said, the 2 big punch-outs were huge.
Brayson Herdsman gets the win. He's 4-2. Fletcher picks up his 8th save. We can go down onto the field now, Kyle, with our representatives from U of H.
Oh, thank you, gentlemen. Excellent call. As always, I have here to my right Houston head coach Todd Winning. And Coach, My goodness, nothing comes easy in this conference. No. 2 wins in this tournament, both separated by a run. How are you able to grind this one out today?
Well, there's no separation in this league really among teams. They're all really good teams. UConn, we've seen them, that team a bunch in the past. Tim Cate's one of the best pitchers in the country, and just proud of our guys for grinding that thing out, just keeping us in it. And a couple of big hits there at the end, and Fletcher come in and slam the door was huge.
You met this team last year in the finals. Dropped that one, and now you're back to your 4th straight semifinal.
Yeah.
What does your team need to do to get back to that final again this year?
Just play good. When we play good, we're a pretty good team. We just gotta just go out, go one pitch at a time. We'll be fine.
And you had no seniors in the starting lineups today. The juniors had to step up. Corey Julks with that big home run got to raise the Thor hammer. How big was that for them and that entire class to grind this one out today?
Well, I got one senior on the team, and about 20-something new guys. So, Corey's leader on our team. Proud of him. He's had a tremendous second half after a rough start. So, I'm really proud of his effort and his leadership on the club right now.
Well, thanks, Coach. Enjoy the off day, and good luck in the semis.
All right, thank you.
And we're now with Houston junior Corey Julks, who's got the Thor hammer. That means he hit a home run. It ended up being a big one today. Corey, a huge win for this ball club. 4th straight semifinal appearance. How does it feel right now?
Oh, it feels great, man. Since last year we came up short, and this year we're trying to finish it off. And, playing well, trying to roll on and finish it up this time.
You hit that big home run. You're around in third base. You knew you had the Thor hammer waiting for you. How good did it feel to hit that one for your team and then get to celebrate right at the end there?
Oh, man, it felt great, man, because every time you do it, you get the hammer, so that's a great feeling.
And finally, back to your 4th straight semis. What does this team need to do to make it to the finals for another year?
Just keep playing hard. Pitchers doing well, swinging the bats well, and just keep playing with energy and just go out there and play hard, yeah.
Well, hold on to that. Enjoy it. We'll see it back out here in a couple days. Maybe you'll take it home again.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our game has come to a close with Houston the winner today, 7-6. The Cougars will play the first game on Saturday, Game 11 at 10 a.m. on the American Digital Network. UConn will play Memphis. They played 3 times in last year's tournament. That will be Game 9 to start off Friday morning. Well, that should be an exciting matchup here in Clearwater. Again, Houston wins and improves now on the season to 38-19. UConn falls to 32-24. 6 runs on 12 hits and 3 errors for the Huskies. 7 runs, 10 hits, 2 errors for the Cougars, who are again moving on to the semifinals for the 4th year in a row at the American. UConn will have to battle out just to get a chance to beat Houston twice on Saturday. For Jeff Brightwell, Kyle, and myself, we'll see you here. One more coming up. USF and ECU on deck.